Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
2020, 8 months later, and we still have no fucking justice for Breonna Taylor. This is Story Route Zero. My name's Matthew Keel. That was Megan Thee Stallion off of her studio debut that they're calling it. It's the opening track called Shots Fired. That's a really fucking good album. Y'all should listen to it. We talk about video games. And I'm back. I know I've been basically every other show.
We got to make these Zoom calls private. Who is this guy?
How? Yeah, wait. Are we just letting anyone join these calls? What is going on here?
I mean, y'all let Jeff fucking Glasson on last time. I don't know. I mean, of course, clearly it's a very low bar.
Yeah.
I mean, motherfucker didn't even know this isn't a Gundam. Come on, Glasson. It's a Zaku. It's not a Gundam. Know your anime, bro. So we heard a couple of voices. One of them was probably the actual leader of this ship, Jason Marshall. How are you?
The ship's going down then.
And then the other one...
We're stranded, but we're still at the edge of the dock.
And then the other one... The other one is definitely not playing the Division because they're on a break. Moose Cool, how are you?
Doing well.
And the actual class in this cocktail, inebriated and uninverted, Michaela Crucione, how are you?
Yeah.
Not inebriated tonight, but I should be.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before she starts showing up like one or two beers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Completely hammered by the end of the show.
I want you to know, sir, that I have a ghost face glass, like the one I gave you, but it doesn't have red on it. It's just white. And I'm like, every time I use it, I'm just sadder and sadder. I'm like, there's no red detail on it. So
you just look at it like you are dead to me.
I mean, still serves a good purpose of carrying my refreshment.
Exactly. So we talk about video games here. This is episode 47, if I remember correctly. And we also talk about how everyone's weekend was.
Wow. He got it right.
So Jason, clearly applauding. I'll let you relax. I'll let you get your head right. Michaela, how was your weekend? How did Clemson do?
Why'd you ask? Why did you ask that?
Oh, now I gotta look because
I know what happened.
No, I know what happened too.
The game got canceled a couple hours before it was supposed to start because Florida State basically noped. Because they didn't agree on the health protocols for COVID. One Clemson player had tested positive like the week before, but then had 2 negative tests and was asymptomatic. And then Florida State,
which doesn't mean anything.
Basically, yeah. So Clemson had to comply though with the ACC regulations, which is all they need to do. They had complied with the ACC regulations, traveled to Florida, were at the stadium waiting to play, and then a couple hours before the game was supposed to start, Florida State just refused to play. And some people are arguing that they should have, like at that point, technically it's more of a forfeit, but whatever. We're looking at maybe.
Coach wasn't happy.
No. Nobody was happy because also
but Coach spoke out pretty loudly.
Yeah. Dabo was pretty pissed.
Okay. So if they actually traveled, like
they traveled and were not reimbursed.
That's some bullshit. Like, take any thoughts on sports continuing through a pandemic, however you want. I feel like some leagues have done it right. some have done it not right. But if they're going by, if everybody got together and agreed on a set of rules, and now you're just, I think it's more Florida State just didn't want to get the shit kicked out of them by Clemson at that point.
Yep,
I mean,
it was supposed to be Trevor's first game back after being cleared because he was sick a couple weeks ago.
So wait, they have to play the game again?
Well, some people are saying Florida State should forfeit. Some people are saying, they both have an opening on like December 12th or 14th or something like that, and they should make the game up then. No, and Florida should go to Clemson or reimburse them for travel or something.
Definitely.
So Florida's got two options. They could do that or they forfeit. They could travel to Clemson and play them, or they forfeit. Actually, to be honest, I think they should flat out forfeit. I think the NCAA should be like, no, you forfeit. Mm-hmm. They were there. They were good to go. You should have been good. You were good to go. You decided not to play. You forfeit. Like somebody's got to have some fucking balls in that goddamn league.
Like 3 hours before the game, the team has already traveled. They've complied with the agreed upon regulations for the league.
Right. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. FSU doesn't just stand for Florida State University. It stands for fuck shit up.
It's true. They're just mad because they haven't.
Well, in the 90s, that fucking shit up meant something way different than it does.
I know.
Right, exactly. Like they haven't been good since the 90s.
Negative. They fucked shit up.
I mean, they just. Anyways.
But yeah, that was one part of my weekend, not watching the Clemson game. So I decided to be productive instead and went to go run errands, and that was a huge mistake. I went near a mall. And the traffic was insane because it's November and people are out being insane. But I had bought a shirt a couple weeks ago and they didn't remove the security tag from it. So I had to like sneak back in the store. Like, I didn't steal it. Please take it off.
Sneak back in. I'd be like, get back here. Alarm's going to go off. Excuse me. I have a receipt. I have my.
I didn't have the receipt actually because it's actually my mom bought the shirt for me on her card.
See, this is how it begins.
I had no proof that I legally owned the shirt, except for my cute, adorable "I didn't steal anything" smile.
That should have been under a fucking mask. Thanks, Michaela.
Yeah, you can imagine the smile behind the mask.
Oh, you had a mask on? Okay, good.
Yes, I did. No, I don't think you can get them all if you don't. But yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
It's an indoor mall. Outdoor malls, yes, I've seen people without the masks, but they have people on all the doors and stuff at the very least. But so I did that, watched the Patriots. Not upset that they lost because I'm a bigger fan of Deshaun Watson than I am of the Patriots this year.
Fucking fair weather fans, let me tell you.
No, I'm always a Deshaun Watson fan, and the Patriots are not the Patriots this year. So, and I've said that.
No, they are the Patriots.
They are the Patriots. They're just not your Patriots.
They're not the ones you're used to.
No, they suck.
Welcome to the rest of the football league.
Yeah, but by that I mean not only did like people like Tom Brady leave, but a lot of people are hurt and not playing. Like you don't have Edelman. You had Gilmore just came back this week, but we had a lot of people out of the roster either because they opted out. Or
it must suck to be human, huh, Michaela? It must suck.
Basically, there's like the McCourty twins and Cam Newton. That's about it.
It's literally that family I upset. First time? You?
Yeah.
No, it's not my first time. No.
Yeah. You want to know when the last time my Bears were good? Do you want to know?
It's not even just about being good. It's about playing like a team, which they don't.
Again.
Two of us are in the NFC East.
You were not alive when my Bears were good, okay?
Oh, that's so true, Jason. Oh, it's so true.
The Giants still have a chance to win the NFC East.
Because the Eagles can't lock it up.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, so watch the Pats. And I promised to tell a story about a spider before we start.
Yes. Story time.
Okay. All right, great.
So you guys know that this apartment of horrors is full of centipedes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has other
First
bugs
of all,
too.
It's just bugs. It's not an apartment of horror. To her, it's horror. So anyways.
This year we
I'd
have
probably
had
run like a girl
gas leak, more centipedes than I can possibly deal with. We've had some shit up in here.
Okay.
But so I had just finished my workout for the day, and which I do right here, and I was looking up at the wall when I finished, and for the first time in my actual sane adult life, I had to Google, are there tarantulas in Massachusetts?
It was that big, eh? That's a
The
big
answer to
spider.
which is no, but the largest species of wolf spiders, known as the rabid wolf spider, do live in Massachusetts.
The rabby wolfies.
Rabid wolf spider.
The rabby wolfies.
No, I don't think they are, but they are called rabid because they're incredibly aggressive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like they're just like the bite.
It was like this big. And if I had hit it any harder with that,
I'd like to just say that this big made her Google tarantula. Like when I think tarantula, I'm looking for something like
it's something the size of my hand.
Yes,
not all tarantulas are this big.
I know.
It was sizably, asshole. Give me a break.
There are baby tarantulas that are very small.
It was the largest spider I have ever seen in my life, and when I smashed it with the shoe, it looked like there was a fucking murder scene on my wall. There was a smear of blood all over the wall, and my flip-flop. I had to Clorox the goddamn wall because I killed a spider.
Now you cleaned it, leave it for the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did kill another spider later, but it was a smaller normal
Just
one.
comes in to say hi, and it's like,
oh, Jess, I told Jess.
What is that? It's like,
I left.
That's a reminder.
So I leave messages for Jess on our kitchen whiteboard all the time, and I started with I had to Google, are there tarantulas in Massachusetts, and then I put a sticky note on it. The answer is no, but there are rabid wolf spiders. Please turn over, and it says we're moving to Canada in all caps. And she was very high time, and she was freaking out because she thought this size tarantula is what I was talking about, because she was blitzed out of her mind.
Because she's a normal human being who thinks tarantula is the size of your...
So again, I'm just gonna ask the question, Michaela. Why are you ruining your roommate's buzz like that?
I didn't know she was high at the time. I was in here working out.
Oh yes, we're all claiming ignorance. Got it.
She's over there.
I'm messing with you.
she's over there ordering pizza.
She did get some out twice this weekend. Yeah. So that's most. Oh, I finished reading a book. I finished rereading Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, so I can start. Yeah, it was good. My favorite is still going to be the Century Trilogy by Ken Follett. I have a lot of Ken Follett's, like half of that shelf is him. Cool. So Fall of Giants is probably still my favorite. And there's a character named Maud, no connection at all whatsoever. But I finished rereading Pillars of the Earth so I can start reading. My friend, actually, a friend of mine who I work with, published their own book, like their first novel. Oh, nice. Just came out a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to start reading that. It's called Gender Optics.
So there's a character named Maud, no relation at all, which is basically the indication that you're collecting royalties from Ken Follett.
Her name is actually Lady Maud. Let's get the title in there.
Well, yeah, but you're from Massachusetts. Whether or not you're a lady is
lady.
No, I'm kidding.
Maud,
but the point is, you're collecting royalties, and I just have the question: why aren't you using those royalties to buy Melody of Memory? Back again.
That's actually not the most.
I'm ejectocito out of this.
Why did I come on the show today? Is my question for both of you.
Because ultimately, and I will speak for myself, not for my two co-hosts, and I'm only going to say this because my wife has said it. I have a stupidity that is ultimately lovable.
Sure.
You know that I think that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna go with
yep, lovable stupidity.
Thanks for putting the spider on the screen.
Surgical with the
freaking spider.
Surgical with the comedy, Jason. Thank you so much.
All right, that's a sizable spider. Okay.
So
all right, I you know.
So you finished a book. You finished a book. You killed the spider in front of his friends. You ruined.
You want to know the real reason why she killed the spider? Because it wasn't paying rent.
I mean, fair.
Late on its rent payments.
Fair.
And she was like,
Man, these utilities ain't free, Spider.
I'm seeing centipedes around. I'm seeing
What are
flies.
you doing? What are you doing?
He's getting high with Jess.
Any other events this weekend that Moose and I can turn into bits, Michaela?
No.
Jason, how about you, sir? How was your weekend?
It was eventful. We almost made it 6 years without an ER visit for the children.
Wow.
Everyone's safe. I should have prefaced, everyone's safe.
I was going to
Sure.
say, he
Yeah.
leads with that instead of, hey,
Well-
everybody's safe.
Well, I wanted
Well,
the reaction. I wanted the reaction first.
I feel like as someone who works in healthcare and, an ER visit means several scores of things for me at this point. I figured he wouldn't be telling this. He probably wouldn't be here if someone wasn't okay. I feel, but okay. So you went to the ER. So now how many days since your ER visit?
It was yesterday.
Okay, so 1 day since the marshals have had to go to the ER. All right. So why'd you have to go to the ER?
So the little one, we were at the zoo and she fell. She
Okay.
either bit her lip or face planted, but
Mhm.
she got up and
Blood everywhere.
everywhere. Like to
Mhm.
the point where we couldn't really tell where at first.
Ooh.
And then finally, it was just her lip. She got 2 stitches.
Okay.
And I faintly heard her tell Aria, hold my beer.
She learned well.
Wow. We
Well,
don't need
because
to guess on this
Aria-
one. Oh, this is Jason's child.
Because Aria went she was 2 3/4 when she ripped a tooth out, like to the root. So Amelia's like, I'm getting stitches. No, it was like, oh my God, like lips when they bleed. I mean, holy
Well,
shit.
I mean, the head is the most vessel heavy or section of the body. So
this
other
was
than
one of
like your
those-
fingertips.
It was one of those.
Mhm.
Aria's in the background. Can I have a snack?
It's par for the course for an older sister.
No,
It's
she was
like,
in the- when we were in
I
the
want some
car-
candy while I'm watching them stitch up my sister, Dad.
No, when we were in the car and they were in the ER, she's like, I hope she doesn't get stitches.
Oh, well, that was nice
Aw.
of her.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
She's a trooper though. She's walking around with a fat lip.
She probably don't care. She's like, whatever.
So that
Yeah.
was relatively eventful on Sunday. I didn't have any football to suffer through, which was good. Giants got a much deserved rest because they're in a tough division.
Hey man, the toilet's tough. The toilet is just
I mean, nobody just wants the Giants to just lose. Like the Eagles, the football team, the Cowboys. They're like, no. We want to be worse than you.
we're gonna make this competitive down here.
Notre Dame didn't play,
No, they had a bye.
so both teams had a bye. Nice.
They play North Carolina next week.
Should be a good game.
They're not too football heavy, are they, North Carolina?
Usually they're not, but they were pretty
Yeah.
ranked. They were ranked earlier
NC
this
State.
year.
Sometimes they just randomly
No,
grade
North
games.
Carolina.
No,
No, UNC.
Tar Heel. Tar Heels.
UNC. Oh, the Tar
Oh,
Heels. Oh,
yeah.
no, they used to be good. And then they
Yeah.
kind of went,
Well, I thought
Yeah,
they were
because-
ranked this year. They might have took a dive. I don't know.
yeah, they're not ranked right now, no.
They're trying to get that basketball program back to winning titles. That's what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
But that's about it.
Now, Moose, I know we normally do a thumbs up, thumbs down with you, but it's been a long time since I've talked to you. So, like, did you do anything non-video game related this weekend? Or just in life in general? Because I feel like it's been forever, dude.
What the heck did we do? Man, I can't even remember. Well, last week, so last Monday started the no drinking till birthday, like no alcohol, period. So that's been fun. Friday, just hung out at the house and Saturday, we just cleaned up around the house, and then yesterday, so my wife wants to fix our living room issue where I just have like a gaming chair in there. Like we had a couch, but then we got rid of it because
issue. I think I've seen that.
Because it's like it was like a fur magnet, and so like we just up and like got rid of it, and I'm the only one that like sits in there because that's where the video games are. And so she wants to like get a couch, or she wants to figure out what we're doing in there, and I'm like, that's fine because I really hate this chair right now. So we went looking for whatchamacallit, for couches, chairs, kind of like figure out what we want to do with the situation. But other than that, it's pretty much an easy weekend. I made a chuck roast with some potatoes and carrots in the slow cooker yesterday. That turned out really dang
Sounds
good.
delicious.
It is delicious. We came to the conclusion we did a chuck roast, so it was kind of like, you know, like flat, like a steak. And so I told her, I was like, we should get like a roast beast and actually do it with that, like proper, like do a pot roast type roast in it. And that would probably be a lot better. But anyways, that was pretty much it. It was the weekend.
For those wondering, Moose's birthday is not in a couple weeks. So we're going to see his behavior plummet for the next 4 months.
I'm probably actually going to be in it, but I don't know, whatever. It's 136 days now.
He would know that now.
I'll Google it. I'll bet you it's
So I feel like you start this earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah, like last year, I think he started in like...
I thought you started it in like January last year.
January or February. I feel he...
I'm sorry, it's 133 days. Usually
That's cool.
Usually I do start it in January, but like I put on, so like after my birthday this year, like working from home and the stress of trying to deal with my idiot coworkers and my idiot company that I work with, not my company, but the company that's our client.
And your idiot podcast host, namely me.
No, y'all are cool. Like I have fun when I'm here chatting with y'all, even when y'all, you know, give me shit for playing Bloodborne in Division 2. But
Love
so
for
like
Bloodborne.
I put on, like, not only did I put on like we're eating out a bunch weight, I put on like beer weight because I did a tour de force through all the beer that I saved for Matt because we were not gonna hang out. So I'm like, all right, this is all going in my gullet. So drank it all, and I'm like, man, it's not good. So I'm trying to just get back on the healthy train, and then what I need to do is drop weight and then get back to the gym. And I want to get like a gym routine going. Like it's the same battle every year. And so now I'm just trying, like, you know what? I'm gonna start it earlier this year. I'm gonna start it before the year even starts, and we'll get going. And then next year we'll kick it off. You know, I'll be ahead of the game. So anyways, that's what's happening. But
Cool.
It'll be interesting being around family with no alcohol. So, which is really weird because, like, in all honesty, I know neither of my family listens to this, but I have no problem being around my in-laws with no alcohol. It's my family.
Fuck, if I'm gonna be around my family, I gotta be blackout fucking drunk. I'm not even joking.
I mean, yeah. Anyways,
I mean,
so
my sister, you know, Amanda's great. Love her. She's fantastic. But the rest of them,
yeah, it could be a pill. Yeah.
Oh,
my mom.
It's a non-invasive fucking lobotomy, is what it is. It's not a pill.
It's the Catholic guilt that kills me. So I'm like, no, I don't want to be around this. I'm good. Like, I'm just out here living my life. You know where I live too. You can come see me. You know, I know. You know, it's not a one-way street. But anyways, so moving along.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn.
Yes. How was your weekend?
So you got a couple weeks. You sit back. So I finished putting together my first what is called
Gundam.
Gundam. It's not a Gundam. It's a Zaku.
That's a Gundam.
No, it's not a Gundam. It's not a Gundam. I promise you. I promise you.
That
it's
looks
not a Gundam.
Exactly like the Gundam from the cover of Gundam Verse.
No, but it's not a Gundam. It's a Zaku. Zaku is the Zeon
Sorry.
people.
Story Route
Um,
Zero, episode
and-
47. Matt builds a Gundam.
Fine, take it. I built a Zaku.
I was
It's the
stunned.
first time. It's the first time I've ever really done this. I've been fascinated by it for years, and when I actually started looking into it a few months ago, I started realizing that it's not something you have to use a complicated system of glue and paint with. It's basically very finely tuned adult Legos, and that was. That was like the thing that eventually just said, "Okay, we're doing this." And then
But are you sure that's still not too much for you? Like, you know?
Oh, I love Legos. Fuck you, asshole. I wish I every time Reba and I go to Target, she sees me looking at the Lego Millennium Falcon, and she's like, "Get your office right, and we could do that."
They just
She knows. She
And
knows.
my office is almost right, so I'm almost gonna do that.
Oh,
They just announced Ecto 1 in Lego form.
See, okay, now that's cool, but not Millennium Falcon cool. Just say I'm not
Well, to
no
you.
no shade towards Ghostbusters because I love the Ghostbusters, but it was like the Lego Millennium Falcon is something I wanted as a kid and never got. It's like that one sort of Christmas gift grudge you
oh, it's
hold
the
against your
pony
parents.
that your daddy never bought.
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, well, okay. So I put together a Gundam. I'm going to do more. It was actually one of the most fun things. And Reba was working on some papers for work while I was doing it, and she's like, "It's nice seeing you look with this kind of childlike joy." And I'm like, "Good, because this is probably going to happen again." And it's probably there's probably going to be several of them decorating our office, so just get used to it. And she's like, "All right." She's so supportive.
Wait till she sees the figurines you're gonna paint that come in a little box labeled Bloodborne board game.
I'm not, I look at all the board games I have, and I don't know if I want to paint those because that requires some dexterity that I just do not have. But
I might pay to get
also,
them professionally painted.
I looked into that. That's really expensive. But also we actually took a day and cleaned out my office area. It is basically ready to have our duo desk and chairs put in there and my PC built. I turned 41 this week.
Happy birthday again.
And
It was Jeff's birthday the week before too, wasn't it? His birthday a week
Yeah.
around here.
His
Yeah.
was like the
Well-
20-something.
of course he's a fucking Sagittarius, that asshole.
I don't know what that means.
I don't believe in.
Oh, neither do I.
I
Neither
don't
do
believe in
I.
those gyroscope things. Let's
Yeah,
But-
it's just.
But mark my words, if Glassen's involved, he is now my mortal enemy.
That's a dad joke right there.
Gyroscope. But this weekend, Reba's cousins gave us some of their leftover baby stuff that they are now no longer in need of because their kids are walking, talking, and adorable as hell. It was our first time seeing them since the pandemic, so there was no puking, but it's clear, like, it was nice to see them after such a long time, and they remembered us, and they remembered, like, who, because that doesn't always happen with very young children. Because most of the time there's that 2 or 3 hour, like, you remember me the last time I saw you? And they're like, nope, my brain hasn't developed memory that far yet, so I don't know who you are. I need 2-factor identification, and I reserve the right to run to my mommy anytime you look at me weird, which is fine. But we saw Charlotte and Vivi again and had an absolute blast because they are just wonderful kids.
Nice.
It was our cousin's, Reba's cousin's twin son's birthday this week as well. Lots of Scorpios in my family. It's a wonder we all get along.
Scorpions, that's something Michaela needs in her apartment. Scorpions.
You want to live long?
Are you kidding? I have 2 gremlins. I'm good.
But so we got a birthday gift to them, talked to them. That was wonderful as well. And I played a lot of video games, believe it or not. So I would like to talk about them now, if you guys would.
Why don't you go first?
I don't want to go first because I feel like I've been talking forever, even though that perception is fake. I want to talk to Michaela specifically, because not only in our Facebook chat, she said she had some shit to say about Miles Morales, which I can totally get down with because I platinumed that this week.
Air 5.
Air 5. But she's also been playing Demon Souls, and while I listened to last week's show, I would like to know if that's gone any further.
Yes. So those are the 2 games that I have been playing because I'm trying to get as much time with the PS5 as I can because the next week, the end of this week and then all of next week, I will have no access to the PS5, which sucks. So
and you're sending it to Moose for him to babysit, right?
Only if he pays me to PS5 sit.
I'm good.
It's like a rental. It's not babysitting. It's a rental.
But yeah, so knowing that I am not going to be here Thursday through Saturday this week, and then I am going to be dog sitting next week, I kind of tried to make a decision on which task I could realistically finish before I have to take a break from using the PS5, beat Demon Souls or Platinum Spider-Man. And I figured Spider-Man would be the faster, so I did dedicate more time to Miles.
It's a 10-hour platinum. It's so easy.
We'll get to that in a second.
Apparently not, Matt. Erroneous.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll start with Demon Souls. So I did make it a little bit further. So when we got on the show last week, I had beaten 4 bosses and was on my way to the 5th. And
There was a spider.
I killed the fucking spider, but I got drunk to do it. It was a fire-breathing spider, because that's what I really need. So now I have done 1-1, 1-2, 2-1. I've poked around in 2-2 to get upgrade materials a little bit, so I kind of did some grinding this week so I could upgrade my weapons and whatnot a little bit. And that miners area seems to be the place to get I need a lot of like sharp stone upgrade stuff. I finished 3-1, which is the boss I hadn't fought last time, which is the Tower of Latria, and I deprived it.
Wait, hang on. The Sharpstone.
Yes.
What world was that?
2. The diggers.
What's the Archstone called? Do you know?
Maybe diggers. It's the one with the miners. I forget exactly what it's called.
Is it the Shrine of Storms?
I don't. Hold on.
The reason I'm asking, and here's the thing. This is like Demon Souls is one of my
Stonefang.
Okay, so that's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking I might be thinking of Bladestone, which I think is in the Shrine of Storms. It's like there's a guy you can farm for the pure Bladestone. And
it's Archstone of the Burrow King, sorry.
Okay. And I remember just the first time playing Demon Souls going after that guy. It was like the last trophy I had to get. And I spent not like 2 calendar days, but like 2 full like multi-hour sessions just going after Bladestone for that guy, and he refused to drop it. I had like 30 million souls by the time I was done farming this asshole. and like I was all sold up and nowhere to level at that point because that was the last thing I had to do. But now that actually answers one of my questions, because I was going to say, have they made the upgrading easier? And I guess they have not.
I don't think they changed it. I mean, obviously
Okay.
luck affects drop rates and stuff like that. But since
Makes
it's
sense.
actually just my first time through that area. It's not just like the miners themselves will drop a bunch of upgrades, and I found a couple crystal lizards and stuff like that. But since it's my
Best
first,
crystal lizards in the whole Soul series, bar none.
yeah,
They're great looking.
they are great looking, and especially in the remake. But there's also just like the stuff on like bodies that you pick up your first time through the area that I was
Sure,
finding
yeah.
too. So I wasn't going through 2-2 to get to the boss. I was just looking for upgrade materials and doing a little bit of grind. Although my best grinding spot for why is my mom trying to FaceTime me? Sorry, Anne-Marie. But my best spot
Missed opportunity. We could have had some fun with this.
No. My best soul spot right now is the 4th Archstone first area. Those silver skeletons drop a decent amount of souls, and there's a lot of them in a small, tight area that you can do a reasonable grind on.
Yeah.
So I finished, last time I had done 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, 4-1, and then I went and finished 3-1 because that place creeps me out, and I hate the Cthulhu-headed guys that suck your face. And I got to that boss. She was tricky, but I got her on the 2nd try and unintentionally popped a trophy that I didn't know I needed to be aware of, where you kill her without accidentally hitting any of her clones. So I did do that. And I started the 5th Archstone for the first time.
The defilement.
Oh, that place is not made for a mod. No. There are many narrow ledges to fall off of.
Dude, look, I want to propose something. I would like to wait till I get a PS5 and go through Demon Souls at least once all the way through, because I will. And then we do like a big
do a co-op
show
then.
about it, because I want to dig the fuck into this, because I mean, as much as I love that game and want to be able to play that again, I'm also the guy on this show is going to be like, yo, just because this looks better doesn't mean it is better. Because I've seen people I've seen like the final boss fight in this game. I'm not going to like go into it, but it's one of my favorite boss fights that I've ever like finished. And what made me love it was the fact that at the time on the PS3, it was so menacing and so dark and just ready to actually just do harm to the player in ways that I had never experienced prior. When I see this boss fight in the remake, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this looks like a pedophile uncle. Like, that's what it looks like to me. And it looks so non-threatening, but still just gross in a way that like I can't reconcile. And I'm almost in the camp of they're not revitalizing a classic, they're replacing a classic. And I feel like that's the incorrect way to go about game preservation. And that creates a longer conversation. So I don't want to just detract from what Michaela's saying here. I just had to get that out of me. I apologize for interrupting.
I don't have it. Like, that's a good perspective to have, though, because I didn't play the original on PS3. Although, as I play, when I beat a boss, my tendency is to go look up a video of what that fight looked like before, because just curious.
It's okay. All right. I appreciate that, actually.
So far, the bosses that I've done. So I've done like the Tower Knight. I did the Adjudicator guy who's really nasty. I did the Fire Spider.
Oh, yeah, he's gross.
He's gross. I found him by accident one time.
He's gross as fuck.
That was the one where I accidentally skipped half the level and was like, oop, boss. I did the Phalanx, obviously, first. I did I already forgot what the Latria boss's name, the mage who bops around and clones herself.
The old monk?
I forget what she's called.
So there's an old monk that in Latria specifically. I don't think it's in that specific. It's not like because I don't think it's the first, but there's one where it's someone who will summon players in.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Like if you remember Dark Souls 2 with the
Dark
Mirror
Souls 3
Knight.
has the fight where the player can be the.
Rita, or no, Half-Light.
That's Dark Souls 3, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. Dark Souls 3.
I'm talking about Dark Souls 2. There's the Looking Glass Knight. That's what it is. He with his shield he could summon in other players to fight for him, and that was a nod to the old monk in Demon Souls. I think that's what the name is. I'm bad with boss names. Plus, I'm drinking and I'm a lightweight. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's in the Latria area. I could be wrong.
I haven't progressed beyond the first boss in Latria. I got to the second Archstone, then left and went to start the fifth Archstone for the first time. I've kind of been doing one of each, except I did the second area of the first world before I did the first area of the fifth world or finished the first area of the third world. Wow, this is really hard to keep straight, and I'm not drinking.
So question. So you went through all of one, like the interesting thing about Demon Souls is you can just do that first Archstone and it gets you to the end of the game. After, is there like a roadblock in that first Archstone for you or no?
I don't know what you're talking about, so I apologize. I've only done the
No,
first.
that's fine.
Like so for
1-1, 1-2. Did you go 1-3?
No, I stopped after I beat the Tower Knight.
Now, can I ask why?
Because I wanted to go to a different one.
I'm just asking. That's just a question. Because this is.
Well, actually,
this is why I love this game. Because the first time I played it, it was before the first time I played it. It was before I had my PSN name now. And it was before I had infinite_rewind as my PSN, and I played through to 1-3, and just never went any further because I felt like I was beating my head against a wall, and I was also, working full time doing prereqs for X-ray school at the time, so I had to step away. And then when I came back to Dark Souls, I got through a few bosses in that, and then I decided I didn't like my PSN name anymore, and changed it, and started getting trophies there. And I'm pretty sure my original PSN name is like All-Star Upsetter or something like that, or some variant of that, because that was my first Xbox screen name as well. But when I met Ahmed, and he's like, we can co-op those games, and I'm like, oh, that would be wonderful. And then we co-opted Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and we've co-opted everything since. But he had beaten like Demon Souls to the point where he knew it backwards and forwards. He knew how to manipulate world tendency because things had died down at that point. And all of that weird shit that I could see people, like, I know that a lot of the people coming to the PS5 version of Demon Souls are probably going to finish it, beat it, and just move on. Fine. But what made me love it was the absolute bonkers things like world tendency, and the fact that you could just go to, I think there's 4 worlds in the first Archstone. So I think you go to 1-4 and just beat the game. And then that's it. You could just go. It's fine. You go beat that boss, do what you need to do at the very end of it, and then you're just done. And people are like, wow, people think this is the greatest game of all time, huh? Really? GameSpot 2009 Game of the Year? Like, it is so fucking weird. And that is why it still like looms largely in my head. And it's very nice to see someone who had never experienced that originally going through and like trying to parse it all out.
You're not really seeing it because she's not streaming it
You
like
had
she
to
should
say it.
be
You had to say
I'm
it, Matt.
glad you picked up the baton, Moose. Thank you, sir. That's why we
Step
friends.
from me and keep running the triathlon line here or whatever. The relay. There we go. Need to be screaming this shit. Let's
People
go.
would see how much I thought.
Well,
I'm sorry. First tried a lot of the bosses. Like they were
Only
nothing.
3 out of 5.
That's not bad. You 2-shot at the one boss.
look,
Look at a lot
man.
of people going in there and being like,
3 out of 5.
I'm gonna
that's Hall of
spend
Fame
2
numbers.
streams
The
on
only-
this boss.
yeah.
Look,
I killed
Look,
3
man.
bosses on the first try, and the one was on the second try. Then the other
There you
one
go.
was the spider. And he can eat my farts.
Well, you were kind of drunk at the time, so we'll chalk it up.
Michaela,
Chalk it up to
Michaela,
alcoholism.
can I, you know, as now, you've beaten Dark Souls, right?
Well, not all of them, but yes.
Oh no, I said Dark Souls 1.
No, actually.
Okay,
I've
that's
beaten
fine.
Dark Souls 3 many times. But I
Okay,
never-
fine.
I
Moose,
had a-
calm down.
yeah.
Moose, stand down, Moose. I'm going somewhere here. Dark Souls 2, what's your experience?
I have not played it, but I've watched other people play it.
Okay, so Dark Souls 3, you've beat a bunch of times.
Yep.
Bloodborne, you've beat a bunch of times.
Only once.
And then you, okay, once, fine. Sekiro.
Yes, I've beaten that more than
The
once.
platinum, don't you?
Yes, I have the platinum on Sekiro.
Yeah.
All right, so if you had to pick a boss that was the one boss where you're like, fucking no, I'm summoning everybody I can to go after this particular asshole, do you have one of those?
No, I don't co-op them. I kind of like hardo, just play by myself, never summon anybody.
That's fine. That's
ever.
fine. That's fine too. That's okay.
And it's not the bosses that I find the hardest. It's the traversal.
Sure. Okay. See, now for me as someone,
Gravity, ladies and gentlemen.
Gravity and GPS.
yeah. Speaking of which, have you ever had this asshole on an elevator talking about Legend of Zelda? He will walk off the edge and die.
Have you ever had to say multiple times to Matt, don't follow the enemy off the edge? Don't follow the enemy off the edge, because he locks on and just goes right with the enemy off the edge.
It me, y'all. But my point, my whole point here is there is one boss across this series that everybody has. You can include Bloodborne, you can include Sekiro. There's one boss across this series that everybody has as their own fucking, I don't want to deal with this particular asshole. I'm bringing the crew, I'm bringing nukes, I'm bringing everything I can to this particular boss. Mine in particular is considered one of the weakest bosses in all of Souls history, as far as I know. Mine is the Capra Demon in Dark Souls.
You summon people to the Capra Demon?
Yes. I have never beaten the Capra Demon by myself.
See, and,
I'm
okay,
like-
so quick side note. That's
I have-
the great thing about the games in the series.
That's
because,
my point. That's my point.
like, Matt hates the Capra Demon. I could like one-shot him, but then there's like
Yeah.
other bosses where I'm like, I don't want to fight this guy, and he's like, dude, I could beat this with like no weapon. Like I could fist punch
Yeah.
this guy to death. So that's the great thing about the series. But
Yes.
Mhm.
I will
Yeah.
be.
I went a
Ladarius.
long way to just say that, but yeah.
Mine's I'm a Gala. The first time. The Chalice Dungeon one, me and Moose ripped the shit out of her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the non
Well, that was
Dungeon one,
after. That was after I died like
Amidala
50
is
times doing it on my run through the Chalice Dungeon. I like figured out the weapon I needed to use and how to really take it down. And I'm like, with multiple people. And I was like, this is
Yeah.
how we're doing it. And we
Yeah.
right,
Everybody
right-
bring the Kirk hammer to that Amidala fight. I don't care what it is. You bring something with an overhand strike, hit her in the face a few times, and you're good.
Well, I even started using, I'm doing a run with the salt.
We're
Cleaver.
talking about bosses, Reap, in
And-
Dark Souls.
And I so I know, I think it's like,
Wait,
I was
talk
like,
about
what
our-
the fuck are you talking about?
I think the R2 attack is overhead or something like that.
Yep,
And
exactly.
So like, I just use that all the time with the salt cleaver, even though it's weaker than when it's not tricked. And I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just going to overhead the right glowing arm to death and it's done. But anyways,
Yep.
anything else to report on Demon Souls?
Nothing other than just emphasizing how nice this game looks, how well it performs. I've had zero issues with it, no noticeable dips from, I've been playing it in the performance mode locked at 60 FPS. The environments are incredibly detailed. Sometimes I literally just stare at them. It is so nice. One of my big concerns was, so I will explain real quick before I move on to Spider-Man because I am taking forever here today.
Not your fault.
No, it's my fault.
No, it's my fault.
But the reason
It's my fault.
I was actually a little apprehensive about Demon Souls, and it has to do with the first Dark Souls game. So I played these games late and in the wrong order. So before I ever played an actual like Soulsborne game, I played Neo, which we'll get into in a future show where I want to do the Souls-like conversation. But it is Souls-inspired combat-ish, sort of. And it's much faster paced, especially than the older Dark Souls. So I played Neo first, and then I played Bloodborne, and then I played Dark Souls 3. And then going back to Dark Souls Remastered was very, very slow by comparison.
That's almost a natural progression, though, because Neo is super fast.
Yeah, but it kept
Bloodborne
getting
is-
slower and slower.
But Bloodborne is less fast. But see, the problem is if you would have did Dark Souls 3 in between, actually you went Neo, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, then 1. Okay, so that's actually the perfect natural progression because Dark Souls 2 is even slower than 1, in my opinion.
I've watched other people play it. I don't own that one. But I got Dark Souls Remastered to stream it. That's where we got it's beginning to look a lot like Dark Souls Rage laughing song. But it's just very slow. The bosses were very easy. I annihilated the bosses again, mostly on the first try. My big problem in older Dark Souls games is the traversal. I get lost very easily. I fall through holes very easily. I step on all of the traps and I get very frustrated. And if I can't get through the environment, I get very frustrated and bored. Because my Dark Souls 3, and well, actually, after Dark Souls 3, I played Sekiro, but that's not a Souls game. And I will fight anyone.
No, it is. It is.
It is not.
It is.
It is a FromSoft game. It is not a Souls game.
It is. Not going to have this
No, it's
debate now. Save
Nope.
it for
Round
later.
one,
Okay.
fight.
We will have this out, and I will be right,
All
but
right.
that's a later discussion.
Yes, later
Um,
discussion. Jeez.
But
Wrong. Anyway.
kind of lost my point. But yeah, no. So I was worried that Demon Souls was going to feel slow, and it does not. Again, yes, I am destroying a lot of the bosses, but I really love the level design here, which I did not in the first Dark Souls. Really love the level design, even though there are no like the bonfire checkpoints. I was worried about it so far. Very much enjoying that.
It's the best. It's the fucking best. I'm sorry. It's
I still love
fucking
Dark Souls
best.
3. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to depose Dark Souls 3 for me. I love Dark Souls 3. I love the world. I love the lore. I love the bosses. Like, if I didn't love that game, there's no way I was learning those SL1 hitless fights. There's no way I was doing that.
Valid.
But, okay. Spider-Man. I finished the story a few days ago. Very much enjoyed the story. The ending, no spoilers, had a lot of punch I was not expecting. It hit some
Fuck.
very good emotional notes. I thought they
it did
killed
everything
it.
Oh, thank you, Michaela. Thank you.
So good. Great
I
ending.
could-
Fantastic.
I want to come to Massachusetts, give you a big old hug. 'Cause I
would
I
give you a hug
cried.
back.
I cried at this. Well, you probably punched me.
Oh, I
for
got a
some
little
And she
teary.
stabs this pair of scissors and is just.
Punch
Well-
first, hug second.
Fine. But also, I'm glad to know Moose is still playing with scissors for some reason.
I'm a fidgety guy. I got to do something. So
But the ending of this game, I was bawling.
Yep. I
And
got
not
It was
because I was
spoiler
sad.
cast.
I was so fucking happy at this ending.
Yep. It was very well executed. I didn't think of such a short story could hit such an emotional note, and it did.
Mhm.
And the gameplay adds to the base game. I love the Venom stuff. It feels smooth, feels great. I've mostly been playing in fidelity mode rather than performance mode. I think I'll switch for New Game Plus to see how that feels. My issue though, so I've been working on grinding stuff out for the platinum, and Last week, I don't know if it was on the show or after the show, I told you guys I had he froze mid-swing. I couldn't get out to the PlayStation home screen. My power button on the console wasn't working. I had to unplug the PS5 in order to get out of that Spider-Man crash.
Oh, shit.
And then
I didn't realize
yesterday,
this.
yeah, it did. And then yesterday,
We heard it.
I heard it too. That's why I repeated it.
All
I
right,
had
trouble
another, he
so
froze.
far away. Oh, wait, what? Different thing.
No. He froze mid-swing again. I started to have a heart attack, but I was able
Heart attack.
I was able to hit the PS button, get out.
Let Michaela be Michaela, Jason.
Get out to the home screen and close the game, restart it. It was fine.
Restart it.
God damn it, Jason, stop.
I caught that one.
Okay, so that was my second crash yesterday. Today, between the hours of 5:30 and 7:30, sat to do some
Allegedly.
trophy grinding. You can check my trophy notifications if you want to check my story.
I don't believe you to be a
2-hour
liar,
span,
so you're okay.
Yeah. In that 2-hour span, the game crashed 4 times today.
Wow.
4 times
Jesus.
in 2 hours today.
No.
In the middle of missions that I had to keep redoing, hence it's not a 10-hour platinum because I have to keep redoing it.
Well, okay, so that's it. Okay, that fucking sucks. I'm sorry.
It fucking blows.
But see, my problem here is maybe you should just play it on a good console like the PS4, like I did.
It's not the console because I have had no issues with any other games.
Well, I'm
It
going
is-
to stop you there because I didn't crash at all. So maybe it's just the PEDs getting into the PS5.
Keys are on the floor. The PS5 is not.
They can
Let the
climb.
centipedes hit the floor. Let
Centipedes
the
can climb.
centipedes hit the floor.
They very rarely climb. Trust me, I've lived with them for 3 years. But
Hold
no,
on. It's
yeah.
2020. Centipedes probably could fly at this point, but they definitely can
I
climb.
have to sleep in here. You know that? I have to sleep in here.
I mean, we have to all live with the choices we make.
All right, continue the joke.
So this was my, I mentioned before the show, I had a problem with real life bugs and virtual bugs, and they both related to spiders. So 4 times in 2 hours today, I was getting very mad. I had to keep redoing several missions, including the one where you have to chase pigeons, and I hate that one. It was in the base game too.
Yeah, but the base game had a lot more.
Yeah, it did. But by doing it the 3rd time, I was like, get your own fucking pigeons, Howard.
Oh, leave Howard out of this.
It crashed during the pigeon mission. It crashed during the stolen car mission. It crashed when I was in photo mode. It crashed and crashed and crashed. So in 10 to 12
It crashed
hours.
in photo mode?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
So today it crashed 4 times in 2 hours, but in a total of 10 to 12 hours play, including times in photo mode, it has crashed 6 times. So that is more than 1 crash every 2 hours on average, which is unacceptable.
Could it be the disc?
Why would the disc cause a crash?
If there's a scratch or something. I played digitally. I didn't have nearly as many.
I will check the disc afterwards, but in all of my digital versus physical media owning, I have never had a scratched disc that A, worked well enough to play the game the way it should be, and B,
Well, then I'm
caused
just
crash.
the luckiest son of a bitch out there.
No, I mean, maybe it's because you played it before the most recent software update. Maybe it's because I just have shit luck. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm using photo mode.
Using photo mode.
I use a lot of I use the photo mode in Miles Morales since
But you're on
I
the
spent
PS4 version.
I spent a lot less time with Miles Morales than I did the original, and I used photo mode at least 3 times as much in Miles Morales.
I like
photo
to
mode
use photo
one
mode.
time.
I love
the trophy.
for the
Well,
trophy.
you're
didn't
wrong.
Save it.
You're
I'm
wrong.
a big photo mode person. I don't post it a ton, but when there's a good photo mode in a game, I like to get like I will lose hours in photo mode. But yeah, I was getting really frustrated for obvious reasons today because it was more like a crash every 20 minutes because the first like 20, 30 minutes I was playing wasn't that bad, but then it was constantly. And I was getting really frustrated for obvious reasons, but way 6 crashes total, 4 in 2 hours is just, so I had to keep
Yeah, it
redoing
sucks.
stuff.
At that point, I mean, honestly, I respect your dedication, because after about 2, I would have been like, you know what? I'm doing something else with my time. Fuck this. And I would have come back to it another day.
Yeah, I will try again tomorrow, and it depends. So Jason and I are working on a joint PS5 article for Obelisk, and tomorrow I'm going to be working on that. So we'll see if I have any time to play, but because I'm gone, basically until December 8th, the only time I'm going to be able to play on the PS5 is this Wednesday and next Sunday, and I don't know if I'll be able to finish the platinum, but I want to finish the platinum because like I said at the beginning of this, I wanted to see if I could finish one thing, the Miles Platinum or Demon Souls, before I lose the PS5 for a week or so. And I would like to finish at least one of those things, and it's the one I'm closer to is the platinum. So
I feel like the Miles Platinum is probably the right way to go. Just
It's
because finishing Demon Souls, I mean, based on the bosses you mentioned, based on the bosses you've mentioned and the bosses you haven't found, I feel like it's easier to go for Demon Souls.
You mean
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Alcohol,
cheat date, everybody. He's a
in
cheat
terms
date.
in terms of the bosses I have left, I think I only know for sure what one of them is, because it's like the only trailer boss left from like the remake trailers. It's the I don't know what it's called, fire golem looking thing that I'm pretty sure is in 2-2.
Flame Lurker.
That's it. Yeah, because that's like the last one that I haven't encountered yet that was in the trailers.
Yeah, you got way more.
Yeah, I know there's well, each of the 5 Archstones has at least 3 worlds, so I know there's at least 15, and then there's the end game, which so at least 16 bosses. I've beaten 5. I know what the 6th one is, so that means there's at least like 9, 10 bosses. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to finish the Miles Platinum, and the game is fighting me very hard on every time I progress.
It's all the shit you talked about trophies in the past. You beat the game. It's like, no, you're done. You can't change your mind now.
Yeah.
All right, but that was my longer than intended spiel.
Hey, you know, you see, this is the problem when you're going into a Demon Souls conversation with the one person on this podcast that is like a demon. If I'm a From Software stan like Moose, I stand Demon Souls harder than Jason, Moose, that asshole Jeff Glasson, and just about most other people combined. So yeah, I will talk about Demon Souls till I am blue in the fucking face. Jason or Moose, which one of you wants to go next?
Jason can go next.
Oh, thank you.
Sold out by your buddy, Jason. What you been playing?
So Shadowlands launched today, and I figured, let me try to log in. Game will just kick me out.
WoW, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the Warcraft expansion. And Moose could attest to this. It's a new expansion. There's no way I could possibly log in. So then I'll be like, it's fine. I'll play after the show. Of course, I get in. No queue. Son of a bitch. Of course I get to see the new stuff. Damn it. So I did start. There's a really cool cutscene, and basically you do your own Terminator entrance where you land in a crater kneeling, and you just stand up like a badass.
Are you naked?
No.
Then it's not like the Terminator. Don't ever compare that again.
Well, I said like. I didn't say it is.
He didn't say it is.
But you said it's not. I just said.
I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you through the screen. Continue, Jason.
Finally.
But so as you stand up, you take your weapon out, and I play a hunter, so I just took the bow off the back and just start walking, and I was like,
hell yeah,
it's the coolest shit ever.
Hell yeah.
I platinum Spider-Man.
You felt like Shaft, didn't you?
Yeah. The bad mother. Shut. I platinum Spider-Man. I only crashed once.
I didn't crash at all.
Keep bragging.
No, well, I'm not like Michaela, I know that I'm not doing that to like stick the boot in. I will stick
Yeah,
the
you
boot
are.
into you for
Twist
many
the
other
knife.
reasons. No, I will stick the boot in for many other reasons other than crashing because I'm totally aware that the crashing, the bugs, the glitches, those are all kind of random generation situations that not every single user is going to experience. For example, just about every Fallout game since 3, everyone has said, oh, these games are so glitched, blah, blah, blah. I've rarely experienced the glitches that people talk about and ultimately ridicule those games for. Fallout 4, I thought was fine. It wasn't the best Fallout, but like it was fine. I didn't have a glitch. I didn't have anything. I didn't experience any of the Witcher glitches because I never fucking played it. But that's a different problem. So that saying I didn't crash wasn't meant to stick the boot in, because if I'm going to stick the boot in, I'm going to choose my moments. Melody of memory. Anyway, Jason,
I
continue.
knew it was coming.
I did platinum Spider-Man. Very easy platinum.
You're right, it is.
Not a fan of New Game Plus playthroughs. I don't like that. And even though I did it in 2.5 hours, I generally don't like having to play the game
Such
again.
a quick New Game Plus. It was so perfect.
I would have liked a few more skippable cutscenes, which was weird. That you can only skip some.
Okay, I'm with you there.
Like it was strange that they allowed even like I understand the first playthrough because I want to see them, but the second one you could skip some of them, and then at some points you could skip like 3 in a row. Like it's like why is this not one cutscene? Why am I skipping?
Yeah. Wait a minute. We're in a different scene now, but you're in the same place, the same 2 people talking. That's not how scenes work.
But yeah, easy platinum, very enjoyable platinum.
Yes.
And I played Ghost Runner.
So before you go to Ghost Runner, and I want to talk to you about Spider-Man because you and I have had like the most back and forth that I can remember in my inebriated state. Because
One in a fifth of a beer in, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a lightweight. What do you want? But so Jason and I basically think that Miles Morales is better than the 2018 version of Spider-Man. And I made statements in our Facebook chat that like where Spider-Man 2018 had a lot of bloat, like Spider-Man Miles Morales is very tight, concise, and actually like the perfect length for and ultimately it is an expansion. I get that, but it is like this honestly could be the template for an open world video game going forward. Like that's what I would say about it. I don't think I said that in Facebook chat, but that's what I would say about it now. Not because there are games like Assassin's Creed that still continue to churn out massive amounts of open world content, but the way that Miles Morales is structured is perfect because every single story mission in that game, barring maybe 1 or 2 that I can remember right now, it's like, hey, if you liked this, there are more of these around the world. If you like doing this, there are more of these around the world. And every mission is in service of collectibles, which reinforces the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that narrative and open world design, if I'm saying that correctly, just hit me so fucking hard because the first like 2 or 3 missions in that game, it's like, there are more of these around the world. So if you want to do this again, find these places. Now, I can't speak for Valhalla. I know Michaela is going to play it. I don't know if she started it.
I downloaded it, and I've been making the joke that that's the reason Spider-Man keeps crashing. It caught the bugs from Ubisoft.
I buy that.
That's
Yeah.
a good joke. That's a real good joke.
Because I have experienced the bugs of a day one ass creed.
The weirdest, the gamer form of chlamydia, the day
The
one
weird
ass creed.
catchphrase.
The day one ass creed.
But like I could see, as I was going through this game and making all these mini revelations just through my first playthrough, I was like, yo, what if fucking Borderlands did this? What if fucking Fallout did this? That would make those games so much easier. I mean, and it's been a long time since I've played an Elder Scrolls game. I haven't played an Elder Scrolls game since Oblivion. But like, I'm sitting here thinking like this could ultimately be an open world template. Not like the open world template, because I feel like Breath of the Wild might have something to say, Horizon Zero Dawn might have something to say there. But like this is a way to like map a player through. Now, the last time I was on this show, I was talking about how Ahmed and I had started Far Cry fucking 5. And as I was going through Miles Morales, I'm sitting thinking, what if Far Cry 5 did this? Because they only do it once. They only do it once in Far Cry 5. And Far Cry 5 is a kind of long game. It would make so much more sense. Like, hey, if you like this particular mission, there's more of these.
Yeah.
And that's a brilliant thing. That's a brilliant thing in a medium where you are doing predominantly the same thing anyway. But if you want to do the same thing the same type of way, it's saying, hey, there are more of these. And I think that is an ingenious thing that Insomniac did.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Obviously, Spider-Man, the 2018 was their first. So obviously, you could say they improved upon it. But
yes, ultimately.
I did like, and I can't think of any other game besides The Division, but I liked in 2018 Spider-Man how you got to a certain story point and new enemies, tougher enemies, suddenly appeared. I can't think of what was the corporation?
They mentioned it in Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I cannot remember it because
the security company.
Yeah, it's a security company.
Yeah, okay. Sable.
Roxxon.
Sable. That's it. That's it. Thank you, Jason.
Sable Industry.
No, not Roxxon, but the one from 2018,
From the first
which
one.
is Sable.
2018. Oh.
So I like that, and I liked.
Roxxon is a bad fucking name. I just want to say that. Sorry.
Well, it comes from there's ties to the comic, but not how I wanted to see it.
You'll know that more than I.
But I like that they suddenly appeared, and I get why. So Miles had the crimes right there on the app. You just pick them, go to them. But I kind of like that Peter had to find them in a way, because if you think about it, they shouldn't just be there. He should be. They're suddenly like all of a sudden there's a car chase. So I'd like more of a in between ground for that. Like maybe like the next game, like kind of like Miles, like it's a stolen vehicle, but it's in the area. Like you pinpoint like, oh, it's going to happen, but you don't know exactly where. Like kind of like make it a little more dynamic and random.
Maybe almost you find it organically the first time and only then it gets logged in your phone, not ahead of time. Maybe something.
Yeah,
well,
or something.
I think that's how it happens, though.
Is it? And then, but my problem is they keep reappearing. I like that you can choose to replay them, but the same ones do keep spawning into the world over and over again. You get the same hacked helicopter 5 times.
Sure, but like that. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's video games.
It is, but it's unusual. Like most times when you beat a quest in a video game, it goes away. You know what I mean?
Agreed. And I think because the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app is in service of the Platinum, they kind of have to have that available.
Well, you can choose to replay it though if you didn't like finish the the objectives.
If you didn't get if you didn't get the bonus objectives. But one thing I did notice that the distances always changed. So if you had a helicopter on the Upper West Side, depending on if you okay, let me start over. If you had a helicopter on the Upper West Side and completed that, regardless of how you did on the bonus objectives, if you wanted to go back and do it again, it popped up later without a Genki alert going, hey, there's a helicopter out of control in this section.
I mean, I still get Genki in my ears saying, oh, this crime is happening over again. And it's ones that I've completed. I mean, I've gotten the trophy for all of it.
Now, ultimately, that's where the immersion breaks, because he'll tell you about it once, but then like 3 hours later, really the same holdup is still happening. These thieves fucking suck.
Well, speaking of immersion breaks, you guys actually just reminded me of something I didn't mention from tonight. So besides the 4 crashes, somewhere in between the 3rd and the 4th one, Genki was calling me because I was doing one of the last friendly neighborhood like side quests I had, and he was calling me like you had to photograph these guys, like their face, to figure out who was the bad guy stealing. He's the Grinch who stole Christmas from the Feast kids.
That's an actual mission. That's not a.
Yeah, but it's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app mission. It's, you know what I mean? So, but
Sure.
He was calling me on the phone is the point.
Okay.
Miles's voice stopped working. So he would pause, and then Genki would talk, and then pause where Miles was supposed to be responding, and then Genki would talk, and then I kept going and talking, like being in interactions with other characters, and Miles's voice was not playing in the game anymore, so I had to quit out and load the game again to get Miles's voice back.
Miles ghosted Genki.
Maybe if
That's
you
his
delete
voice.
the game and re-download it.
I might do that if I continue to
That
have
might
issues
help.
with it. Yeah.
Now, the glitch I did have with Spider-Man Miles Morales is my favorite glitch I've ever had in a video game. At one point, while I was just swinging through the city in what is one of the, the Spider-Man mechanics from 2018, Miles Morales, the swinging is so fucking good. It is so, I've never felt so free in my life in a video game than swinging through these cities. But there was one moment where all of a sudden the Spider-Man suit disappeared, and all I saw was Miles Morales's rendered head. So all you see is a head and then space around him, but somehow a web is being generated to swing. I'm like, this is kind of all right. I'll just let this happen. That was the only glitch I ever had.
I will say my only complaint about the traversal, and I don't remember this from the first game, the tricks you can do, I felt the backflip kind of slowed you down. Well, the first game
It
felt
does.
more,
Fuck.
right.
Oh my God.
Okay, because the first game it felt more natural and you could do it in a combo. This I felt like I was literally stopping my forward momentum to do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking do it. But actually, the only trick I did was the front flip, because I felt any other trick made you slow down. I felt, or change direction completely. I felt in the first game, Peter was able to do the tricks and keep going, like pick up speed. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Like I was,
it wasn't just you.
Do a backflip, and I'm like, half the time I turned around, I'm like, no.
One of the things I hated was if you were wall running and change directions. If you needed to change directions, Miles kind of kept going off that wall, whereas Peter would sort of slingshot himself around. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but to be fair, a developer cannot possibly test all the combinations of exactly where you're wall running, exactly where you released. Like, I feel that's one of those.
Yes, I'm not. I am not.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not laying this at Insomniac.
No. I'm just saying sometimes wall running with Miles felt good, and maybe it was user error. You just got off the wall at the wrong spot, and it just kind of seemed to slow your progress. Because sometimes it just felt like there were times like I'd climb a fire escape, shooting the webs up. Other times I'd just hit the fire escape, and I'm like, no.
Or if you did the R2,
I'd stop and I'd
Or if you did R2L2 and it would just slingshot you in between that fire escape and that sick
was
tiny
cool.
cutscene and that sick tiny cutscene, but you're like, I didn't need to do that. I wanted to go up.
That was cool that they added that. Like if you
Oh,
got through a set of stairs and it was just like the mini cutscene was like, that's cool.
and I think the SJW fandom, and I include myself in that, reacted poorly to the GameSpot reviewer. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
I did.
Where it's just like the GameSpot reviewer mentioned, oh, this is a total black teen thing. But the GameSpot reviewer is black, and no one really perceived that because to the audience at large, like, why did y'all not do your research here?
Nobody on the internet does research. They just yell when they think it's appropriate for them to
Agreed.
do so. So
But it's just like, motherfucker, this kid was just seeing himself in a fucking video game.
Well, the problem was the clip starts at that point. So it's like, if you just see the clip, you can't tell. And it's like, wow, he started with that. But he didn't
He
start with that.
leads with that, but also like research is a fucking thing. Anyway.
But yeah, no, had a
So
blast.
what now? What do you think about Miles Morales as a whole?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I predict Spider-Man 2 includes both of them because
Fucking better. Co-op would be so
No.
good.
Well, not only co-op, but the end, the bonus scene.
Mm-hmm.
Both of their bonus scenes are similar, so it's obviously a tie-in to.
Yeah,
And
we're leading somewhere.
yeah,
But
they're
it-
not
and
hiding
also
where the
it's not
second
like-
game is going.
It's not like two different. Like, oh my god, they're gonna merge these two things. Like Peter's in the game, and he says, "I'm just taking a vacation. Can you take over for a few weeks?" So I'm curious to see what they do though, because if they make it like, oh, you could choose who to play as, then it's going to be like, well, I don't want to play. Like,
I think
are
it's
like,
more their style to do story sections. Like that's what they did in the
Yeah,
base
like-
Spider-Man
or
when
like-
they made you play as MJ.
do like chapters, but do it or something,
Moose is like,
or
don't.
do combos. I think
Or at least make it like worth fucking while and not like shitty
I-
the way it was.
I think you do it a Grand Theft Auto way, where you can
Yeah, where you can switch
fly.
on the fly. Like you're swinging through New York as Peter, and you're like, "Well, I just finished this mission." And
What's
I wanna
MJ
go-
up to?
Not necessarily that. I want to go see. I want to go level up Miles. So boom, switch over to Miles, and boom, you can go do some missions to level
And
up
then, like,
Miles.
Yeah, every 5 missions or something, you have like a combo, like you're both of them, but other times you just do your own thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But we'll see. No, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a good launch title. Showcased. I mean, there were no load times, but I thought the fast travel was cool. I only used it once, but I thought how they integrated it into the story like that, I was like,
Mhm.
that's a cool idea.
And I know this is probably considered spoilers, but in one of the final moments of that game where the guy looks at the reporter and says, "He's our Spider-Man." I've not had a moment where I cared so much in video games as I did there.
I think it makes sense, but you pay attention to detail. I guarantee you a majority didn't realize that's the guy from the first scene.
Yeah, from the Tails Bodega scene. Yeah, like, I'm trying to find Tails Bodega.
That was also stupid, in my opinion. That was dumb because it wasn't like, oh, it's down the block to the right.
It wasn't
It's
like it was far away. It was just like, Miles, you could have just looked up and it's right fucking there. But
Yeah.
also,
I noticed that too. I'm like, it's like
Really?
right there.
Like, Like, if you miss that sign,
You
have
shouldn't be Spider-Man.
Yeah, you should
Right.
be swinging throughout the city, like taking out,
Also-
you know.
It annoyed me
villains.
because it was like a continuity error. He references the bodega several times like it's some old stomping ground.
Or
Yeah.
like, it's like, yeah, I know Taylor's Bodega. That place is great. Where's Taylor's
You know what?
Never been there.
Insomniac could have made it better if he was talking to Haley and kind of was like shy and nervous and
I
just
love
tried to make
Haley.
conversation. But he was
Fucking
talking so-
Haley rules, right?
But it was just
I
talking
love
good.
that's inclusion right there. I love Haley's
That is
character.
representation
They did it really
as fuck.
well. It's so good.
And not a spoiler for Moose, but how'd you guys like that cameo towards the end? How cool was that?
Which cameo?
In the science center? He bumps into them.
When you're
Oh,
going
yes.
to look at your project, yeah.
So I have to ask, just because I wasn't here last week, did anyone even fucking notice that Spider-Man's different?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we knew that before
Well,
the game
probably
came
No,
out.
I'm actually asking, like, because I know that, like, there's all this talk that Spider-Man's different. I'll be honest, like, if I hadn't seen those news stories, wouldn't have fucking noticed.
Oh, I would. I would.
I wouldn't have fucking noticed. I would
He
not.
looks like a babu now. He's supposed to be 8 years older than Miles. Now he looks like a little baby
Well, yeah,
face.
but see,
boy.
Tom Holland is how old, but he looks how old.
He's not supposed to look like Tom Holland, though. They said the reason for changing the
That's
face
what
was
they
to be-
said, but he looks like fucking Tom Holland.
No, Tom Holland has a squarer face. This kid's got a longer face.
We're not going to get an argument. Let's keep
But
moving
yeah,
it.
they
Let's
made it
keep
to
moving
mean-
it.
I
yeah,
also
Moose
played-
needs to go, but like
I'm gonna say right now, white people look the same. Just saying. But,
I also played Ghost Runner.
so I know Jason did Ghost Runner, but I know Moose has a heart out. So
Have
I'm gonna
heart out.
pivot
That
to
was just
Moose.
a fucking joke.
He's joking. The hookers and blow can wait.
Yeah. I could drop in at any
So
time.
he's
Bolivia
not
or
going to
whatever
DC
I get there.
tonight? Okay, so
No,
Jason,
it wasn't
Ghost
a-
Runner.
no,
Tell me
it
about
was
this.
Bolivia. It was a Bolivia reference.
Yeah. That was
You know,
Bolivia.
that's what he says. You think I believe that motherfucker?
No, wait till he gets to talk about what
you
he's
can
playing.
you can see what game I'm playing. I've been
He's
playing
probably in
recently.
rest mode right now.
It is in rest
I
mode.
don't have that kind of time where I need to check up on you, Moose. You're an adult.
I'm just saying, if you want to
Well-
fact check me, you can, instead of spewing bullshit and saying I don't
be
believe
fair.
him. You can fact check me, and then
All
you
right,
will believe
all
me.
Yeah.
Facts don't care about my feelings. Jason, how's Ghost Runner?
It's really cool. So
That's that
I-
ninja sword.
So I was joking because I was playing it, and Jeff was in the party with me, and I'm like, Jeff, I bought this. Don't play it. He goes, huh? Why?
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
like,
first-person platformer, right?
he's like, it's that platform. I'm like, it's that platformer, but think Mega Man. He goes, oh, okay, I'm done. So
Get
the
good,
whole-
Glassin.
So the whole thing with it though is, you kill everything in one shot. You also die in one shot. It's so.
Good.
It's more I don't want to say it's a rhythm game, but you have to get a rhythm. You have to keep going. It's not like, oh, let me take a break and hide around the corner and wait for my
So
open.
is it like first-person Hotline Miami then, with a platforming element?
Yeah, kind of. When I beat
Because
the
that's
first,
what it sounds like.
so when you beat the stages, it shows how many deaths you had. Stage 1, I beat it. 66 deaths. Stage 2,
Yeah.
only 4. I'm like, what the
There you go. Improvement.
No, it's well, because as you go, you upgrade, which adds cool things to it. But it's just really cool how, at first it's set up obvious, like run this wall, there's another wall, but then it gets like a little creative. There's like sliding under stuff. There's hooks to tether to. It's a really cool game. And I don't know if it was just because I was on PS5, but the reloads are instant. Like you die and it's not like just cause, like what the fuck? Because 66 deaths would take quite a while if there was a load screen.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. And
Cool.
over to Moose and Bolivia.
So I platinumed the game this year. I played.
You finally
Thimbleweed Park.
platinum Division 2.
No. That's still waiting for
Wait
Jeff.
for it. Wait for it.
Jay.
Wait for it. I know because I know it. Wait for it. Hold.
It's right. Oh my god, my leg fell.
Hold.
I played Thimbleweed Park and platinumed it yesterday.
Better late than never, am I right?
I mean, that's true. It's true. I was like looking through, so I have like folders on my PS4 and then like where all my games belong, and then I have the games outside those folders of what like I downloaded and like Final Fantasy VII is way down on the end, which I'm like, man, I need to get back to that game. But I was thumbing through and I'm like, oh shit, Thimbleweed Park, and I'm like, I really don't want to fire up Division 2 because I was playing it that morning, and I'm like, I just need to stop. And then I was like, I don't want to jump into Wildlands just yet. Wildlands hadn't gotten its hooks in me yet. And then, so I was like, well, I'll just play Thimbleweed Park. So I start playing it and then got the platinum. I was like, finally, I can delete this thing off of here. And then dove extra hard into Wildlands. So just speak of the Tom Clancy adventures that I've been having. Did finish last Wednesday, Muffins and I finished season 3 of the Division 2, which is pretty cool. I'm excited about season 4, and I think that'll be the last season that they'll do for Division 2, just because they're pushing the customization station, which they introduced at the end of Division 1 before they stopped supporting it. So it's kind of moving in that direction, which is fine. And so we did that, and I stopped playing that. Played some Spider-Man, enjoyed it. I need to play more of it, but there's this game called Wildlands, and there's this, running and gunning with your own little crew. So I started playing that and leveling up, having a good time. And it starts just like any game, like Far Cry. I would imagine the Assassin's Creed games and the Watch Dogs games where the slightest misstep and you can be fucked. But then as you level up, you get better and better, and so pretty much like any game, but still, like their games, I seem to have like that steeper curve sometimes for me. But anyway, so been leveling up, getting weapons, getting talent points and whatnot, and loving the hell out of it. I think I played co-op with Muffins for a while. I think it is a lot harder to play co-op than it is single player, because single player you get 3 other squad mates. And if you unlock enough points, you can have 3 synced shots. And if you take a shot, that's 4. So you can take out like 4 people at once, which kind of like eliminates a lot of the enemies in the compounds that you're trying to attack and whatnot. So single player is a little bit easier, I feel, than co-op. Because co-op, it's just you and the other person. Like you don't have... Which I was talking to Muffins about it. I feel like, and I don't know if Breakpoint does it or whatever, but I feel like in the next iteration they could do it where it's like, okay, well if it's 2 people, you get a squad mate and they get a squad mate to command, and like you can work. What?
They don't in Breakpoint.
That's what I figured. But yeah, exactly. But I was like, that would be cool if you could have, like, it would always be 4. People, and if it was 2, whatever. And if it was 3 players, the person who's hosting the game would be the person in control of the AI or something. But I find it pretty funny that my AI can walk right in front of enemies and they won't set off the alarm unless they see me. They don't see anything. And so I thought that was pretty hilarious. And then
Word.
Jason, what?
Word.
Yeah, so it's nice, like literally right in front of the enemy, walking up the street like 2 feet from them, and they don't do anything. And I'm like, okay. So Jason hopped in the party last night while I was playing, and Jeff was rocking and rolling in Spider-Man, trying to beat that. And so Jason and I are trying to do missions. The one mission bugged on us, so I had to shut down and reload the game to get it to work. And then him and Jeff are like talking about Spider-Man, and so we're going to this island and we're in a helicopter, and Jason's flying the helicopter. He's asking me multiple times, like, do you want to fly? And I'm like, actually, I just like riding around in the helicopter. So the helicopter works. It's a small little helicopter. It's got 2 guns on it, so Jason can man the guns, and then it's got a passenger seat and it's got 4 seats on the back. So like you could sit on the side, you know? So I was sitting on the side, and you can aim down, if you sit on the sides, you can aim down your sights. So you can actually shoot stuff. If you sit in the passenger seat, you're like screwed. So anyway, so we're just sitting there and we're like hovering over this island we're about to go attack. And Jason's like in this conversation with Jeff, and he's like, well, do this and do that. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I bet you I could use my drone. So I go to throw my drone out. My drone flies up into the routers of the helicopter, blows up the routers of the helicopter, blows us up. We go down in a fiery flame, and Jason's like, what hit us? He's like, what the fuck hit us? What happened? And I am out of breath, laughing my ass off. I'm just like, I lost my breath laughing so hard.
I just hear
fucking Moose is a sleeper cell. What the hell?
I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, so I had to take a breath, and I explained, I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, I'll pop out the drone so I could use it and spot a couple of enemies, and then you know, we could go in and take them out little by little. And it did not work. The drone was not working in our favor. But that map is super huge. There's a lot of tough areas. Like they have like ranked difficulties and whatnot, but there's there's like bases you can take over. Like I was always like, man, I need to take a chopper with me everywhere. Not really. I could run to a lot of places and just find a chopper and steal one and go wherever I want to go. But you've got guns you can find, weapon caches, you've got weapon attachments you can find. I got the best sniper in the game like day one, which is nice. Like if you take the silencer off, you can one shot a helicopter or a plane, which is nice. And then
and y'all think I'm a liability.
oh no!
Oh,
don't
no,
worry.
no, no,
There was an untimely moose death, which had me dying. We're sneaking into a base, and Moose's arrow is not moving behind me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I see the little health button because he's like, I'm dead. I'm like, what do you mean you died? We're sneaking in. Get hit by a fucking car across the street.
Got hit by a car across the street. You would think like you would bounce over the car and take some damage. No, you get tapped by a car.
Roadkill.
You're dead. You're dead. You're just laying there dead, and you're like, can you come get me? So he had to like sneak back over the fence. He went over some railing to go around the back of this hotel. So he had to come back, pick me up from the road so nobody would see me. Luckily, I was in a spot where the enemy, because it was a mission where if you had to get in, plant bugs undetected, and leave. And so luckily I was in a spot in the road where the guys at the front of the bait, like the front of the hotel or compound, couldn't see me. And so then we went in and wrecked shop. But it was
Also,
but so like it was our first time playing together too, but we got a lot better. Like we'd be moving along, and like it was really funny. Like Jason's like, here's the jammer, which was jamming our drones. And I'm like, I wonder if you could shut that off. He's like, I usually just blow it up. He's like, I don't know if you could shut it off. And so I walk up to him like, oh, here's the switch. And just shut it off. And he's like, oh, well, that's good to know. And so like, and we'd just be moving along, and we'd come up on two people, and he'd be on the left side, I'd be on the right side, and I'd be like, I'll take the right guy, you take the left guy, 3, 2, 1, boom, shoot at the same time. Guys go down, and we just move along. And so
you know, this is now my citation for any argument that games are not art. Because
you know what?
because hearing what just happened here, it's like masterpiece.
Right. The best quote: Demon Souls is not going to get Moose to buy a PS5. The load times into Wildlands are going to get Moose to buy a PS5.
Not even joking.
I got into
Looking for
a helicopter.
PS5s.
I got the helicopter up and running, and Moose is still loading in. And he's like, I'm like, get in the helicopter. He goes, wait, you're already in?
yeah. I'm like, you're already in. I'm like, fuck this.
Oh, no,
like,
it was Moose was playing. He goes, you want to play a little? I'm like, okay. Started Ghost Recon. It was funny. He's in a helicopter. His 3 AI teammates fell out of the helicopter.
Dude, they just drop. They just basically fall through the world, and then he's like in the passenger seat. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
What's up, buddy?
But like it's a fun game because like you can play like Muffins and I play. Whereas in like I like to go in and like spot all the enemies and figure out what I'm doing. Muffins likes to kick in the front fucking door and just go in guns blazing. And I'm like, I don't think I'm not leveled enough.
You need a Leroy Jenkins in your life. This is your problem.
Right.
This is why you hang out with me.
No, that's why I run the shield build now in Division 2 because I miss
He
you.
went back to the division. He was so close, and then they just pulled him back.
But anyway,
I regret nothing.
Yeah,
so just to interject here, have y'all noticed that the Animaniacs are back on Hulu?
Yes.
Yeah, we
No,
are.
not Hulu. HBO.
No, they're
It's
on
Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah,
They're on
Is it
Hulu.
I've seen it on Hulu, yeah.
Second episode, I think it's second episode. Pinky and the Brain make a Leroy Jenkins joke. Made me
Nice.
so happy. It's real good. Because Pinky just goes, "I'm Leroy Jenkins," and runs at a dragon. I'm like, fucking go, Pinky. Anyway, continue.
I have been playing Breath of the Wild as well. That's been fun. But other than that, that's been pretty much what I've been playing. I'm probably gonna try and platinum Wildlands because I've platinum Far Cry, and I imagine it's gonna be just like that, like just trying to the collectibles and all like the special, like you gotta spot 100 people with the drone, you gotta spot 100 people with your binoculars, so like it's just just doing all that stuff.
The
and getting it
map
done.
though in Wildlands is
It's huge. It's like it's insane.
I don't know why I'm the only person thinking this, but like, why not Platinum Division 2?
I'm waiting for Jeff to do the DZ Zone stuff together with him.
Do you think that's ever logistically going to happen? Because
he just bought the DLC.
He just bought.
We've
the
established this episode specifically that Jeff Glasson is a trash human being.
Then he's right there next to you in the next trash can over. Because
I recognize my own.
Actually, he's in the trash can. He's the guy that's living in the trash can. You're the guy that's in the bag that's like half open, torn to pieces by the dog.
Yeah,
that just
and I'm like,
wanders the
stay
neighborhood.
out of my fucking bag, Jeff Glasson.
It's like the Chappelle. Yeah, Oscar, you're a grouch. Bitch, I live in a fucking trash can.
I still maintain #fuck Jeff Glasson.
No,
Jesus.
but speaking of that, Jeff did buy Warlords. Apparently, Division DLC is not being shareable.
On PS5.
Apparently, it's not game shareable on PS4.
No, it's not. I
Wait,
had to
what?
buy it. Yeah,
You had to buy Warlands?
Yeah.
That's stupid. I didn't know you
Sure.
had to buy it.
That's okay.
I mean, I
ain't mad at
December 1st.
See, I'm not mad at you, Moose, because frankly, when you and I went through that shit, it was so much fun.
It is
It
fun.
was
I mean,
like
it's
for all of the
fun.
bad politics in that game, it was so much fun to just do all that shit.
It's like $8, so maybe I'll buy it. I mean, it's not a bad purchase, but it's like
You're not
I know I
gonna
have to-
buy it.
That's so stupid that you have to buy it though, because he
Agreed.
owns it. That's really weird, but whatever.
Yeah. Let's not throw up too many fires about this because we don't want it to be taken away from us. Anything else, Moose?
No, that's it.
Why are you playing Breath of the Wild again? May I ask?
Because I have the Switch at work, and
Okay.
I just fell down another rabbit hole. Breath of the Wild, so
Now, are you going to pick up Age of Calamity?
I don't know. Like I've seen the reviews for it, and I still want to try the demo. So like,
I'm
part of
kinda
me is
back
like,
at-
I'm leaning towards maybe, but the demo might sell me on it, or be like, no, wait for a sale, and I might just
Yeah.
wait for a sale.
Like,
Because
I'm at the-
my thing is like I want the backstory.
yeah, that's where
That's
I'm at.
all I
too.
really kind of want.
That's where I'm
like-
at too. I'm like, do I
I'm
wanna do
not-
this?
Like I looked at the gameplay trailers and I'm like, it kind of looks fun, but I feel like it would wear thin after a long time. Like Breath of the Wild can get any game's fucking repetitive, but I feel
Sure.
like the Dynasty Warrior games are extremely repetitive Because all you're doing is running around and swiping at large crowds, and you're like,
But if it rewards you with the story enough, will it break it up so that
see,
the
yeah,
formula doesn't just get stale?
right. That's the thing, and so like they've already stated that Nintendo has been working with them to kind of bring it more towards a Breath of the Wild, gameplay style than Dynasty Warriors. So I don't know, man. I'm still on the fence about it. Was definitely not sold enough to get like a day one, like get it day one.
Yeah.
So, but also I was playing Breath of the Wild because I went hard at Division on my week off, and I just needed a relaxing game, and I know Breath of the Wild, so I was like, I don't really want to play anything that I'm gonna have to sit here and try and learn something. I just want to play a game that I know. And I didn't play Bloodborne, so y'all should be happy, motherfuckers. So I played Breath of the Wild.
But how much Division 2 did you play?
What, this past week?
Yeah.
2 evenings, maybe 6 hours total.
And that's how you do it when you're on a break. Anyway, I think it's my turn.
I haven't played since Wednesday, asshole.
What's 6 hours out of his grand total?
Right?
That's like Jason playing like freaking 6 hours. How many,
So
For the
that's
record, I
Jason
had
platinuming
nothing-
2 games.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
Is it my turn now?
it's a your
Sure.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Anyway, so I talked about Miles Morales. I'm not going to talk about that anymore now because we've beaten that horse to death. I'm going to talk about 2 games that I have gotten into in the wake of beating Paradise Killer.
Congratulations
And
on that.
And both of them are now officially in my Game of the Year conversation, which is weird to say because I generally tend to be super steadfast on like I have to beat the games. But and the one that'll probably be the most contentious among y'all is Moon, a remix RPG adventure for Nintendo Switch. This game originally came out in 1997, but it did not come west. Now,
It's like a cult
what?
thing that people
Well,
wanted. Yeah.
but see, here's the thing. I don't know if it's even a cult thing because, I know Toby Fox was out there on Twitter saying, without this particular game, Undertale couldn't exist. But also, he also said he's never played it. Now, I've not gone back to do the research to see, like, what's what with that. But I will say this. Him saying that was what led me to it.
See, I'd never heard that.
You could also see a game and someone could talk about the mechanics of a game and it could spawn something for you. You
And that's
have to play it.
Yes, Moose.
So that might be the route that he went. Like he heard about the game, someone explained the mechanics. He's like, oh, an RPG where you don't have to fight, like Undertale. You can beat that game without fighting anybody.
You beat that
right?
game without fighting a single fucking person.
Right.
And you have some of the best dialogue in the history of video games.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that makes sense. If he hasn't played it, I can still understand that the game inspired him. That's the word I was looking for.
And that's and yes, I am not about to discount any of what Toby Fox says about this game because he didn't play it. Because video games are a medium where you can watch it and respect it. You can also interact with it and play it and respect it in a different way. And you can read about it and get a third perspective. It's kind of the interesting thing about the medium is you can either play it, watch it, or read about it, or do all 3, and all of a sudden you have 4 different point of views on a game. But Moon, remix RPG adventure came out on Nintendo Switch in August or September of this year. I don't remember
August.
which. It was August? Okay, thank you.
August 27th.
It was originally released in 1997 for PlayStation 1 in Japan by... Now, the studio is love-day-lick, L-I-C, but I kind of read it as Lovedelic. This game is a game in 2020 that I fucking needed. I won't really speak for the gaming community at large because I don't know how much traction it is actually getting out there. But when I heard about it, and I saw the Toby Fox tweet because I'm a fan of Toby Fox's, I was like, oh, well, I got to play this. And almost immediately, I was fucking struck by what this game is. And after the first 15, 20 minutes, maybe half hour, the game fucking changes in a way that I was not ready for. So this is a JRPG in the most JRPG-ass JRPG sense. It starts out with, your knight walking through worlds, beating the fuck out of whatever is in its way. All of this is cutscene, though. You're using the interact button to progress. And it is essentially like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, whichever way you want to go there. And this knight is doing massive amounts of damage. But then it cuts to a boy sitting at a TV playing a video game where his mother is saying, hey, quit playing video games and go to bed. So the boy goes to bed. And then this boy is transferred to Moon World, where he's basically in the same RPG that he was playing, but instead of being the all-conquering hero, he is going out into this world and looking for love. Not love for himself, not love in the romantic fashion, but just love in general. And while he's doing his thing in this meta game that he's playing, the hero from the game he was playing is still going out there and killing things. So love comes in the form of fetch quests, where be it listening to an NPC or hearing an NPC say a certain thing, and you go grab that and bring that back to the NPC. You're not building experience for power, magic, whatever. You are building love to make yourself able to survive a little bit longer. And this type of subversive anti-RPG is something that I never knew I needed. What makes it so special, though, is when you start the game after the opening sequence of Dragon Warrior, we'll call it, you're on the clock, very much like Majora's Mask or Outer Wilds or whatever. And the minute that clock runs out, you pass out and you die and you start all over. So roguelike is probably the easy thing to throw at, but it's not quite roguelike because everything is the same afterwards. But when you wake up from sleep in this area, that's your save. So you go do a couple of tasks, generate some love, and you come back, sleep, and you have a dream, and this face comes to you in a dream, and says, hey, you've generated this much love from this specific task, whatever, and you can stay up a little bit longer. What has me completely mesmerized by this game is it's something from 1997. I don't know what sort of graphical adjustments have been added or enhancements. I don't know any of that. But this game reminds me of the slapdash yet incisive commentary of the animations of the Monty Python Urva. Like, think of the animations in Holy Grail, or even in the show, or And Now for Something Completely Different, or The Meaning of Life. This game speaks to me in a 1997 version of that, and I am fucking in love with it. More often than not, you're just kind of going and talking to people in the world and sort of getting a sense of who they are. For example, there is one of the castle guards who is trying to build a model plane for his son. He's been divorced, and his ex-wife and he are sharing custody of this child. But this father is trying like the Dickens to impress his son, and going through his little quest to impress his son with a silly model plane, and seeing his son just be super happy for his father that he got this model plane to fly for a very long time. It resonates with me in a way that I can't even deal with. Not because I'm the product of divorced parents, but like, I kind of wish my biological father gave a fuck while I was a kid. And when I saw this particular quest play out, I was, and I played my Switch predominantly like before I start work and after work. I was an hour before I had to start my shift when this quest ended. And I literally just let the quest end, turn the Switch off, and I was actually in tears and contemplating just my own particular life for a very long time. I think it was like at least, it was probably like an hour before my shift. And that was where I was for a while. And I was like, I don't always expect game companies or game developers to see my individual experience, because let's face it, I'm a cis white dude and my experience is pretty banal in the year 2020. Like, there are a lot more experiences that need to be highlighted and representation needs to happen. But seeing this made me feel so fucking seen that I'd never felt that way before. And recently, and I'm going to derail, I apologize, but recently the Fun and Games pod hosted by Matt DJ Stormageddon, and I forget the other guy because I'm drunk, posted about, they were saying like, what's a co-op story you remember sharing with a family member? And I remember my mother and I going through Dragon Warrior, and it was something that, it still means a lot to me to this day. And going through that sort of had me in my feelings, but this, it's just like, wow, I've never had to work through the feelings of my parents' divorce before now. And this game was ultimately therapy for that. That said, I'm still keeping going. I'm still going through trying to just find all the love I can in this world through resurrecting creatures that the quote unquote hero has killed, or just listening to NPCs go through their dialogue. And it is actually one of the most brilliant things I've ever played in a video game. I'm sorry to unload some of my own personal shit on you guys, but like this game actually means a lot to me, and it might actually be one of the best games I've ever played. And it kind of makes me sad that they thought that this didn't need to happen 23 years ago when the game was released. On a lighter note, in said game, there is one of the, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, skip the next like 2 to 3 minutes. But there is a guard to the castle in this game who is known for falling asleep at his post. And if you stay awake long enough into the night, you know, if you sort of stalk where he sleeps, you watch him leave his apartment, as it were. You follow him. He goes to the throne room. And I shit you not, gentlemen and Michaela, he puts on the best Queen concert outside of being Queen, because his name is Fred. And he turns into fucking Freddie Mercury in the throne room with a fucking crown. And it is, you know, all the heavy shit that I just said meant something to me, but this makes this a game of the year candidate in my personal estimation, because they just lean into the absurdist nonsense in a way that is so perfect, but not cynical, or not, you know, diminutive or pejorative. It so far, and I'm only in the second area, it is a perfect JRPG in a way that I've never experienced before. I also don't think that anybody on this panel or anybody listening, whoever that may be, would come to this and say like, oh, I'm totally in. But I would encourage anybody that hears this to give it a try. And not like I got past the first part, started going for love and didn't know what to do. But just try it, because everything is pretty intuitive. It's not, there's nothing super obscure like the Souls series or most JRPGs in general, in my experience. But this game is fucking beautiful, and I really hope you all take a shot at it. I would love to hear thoughts, but I know Michaela and Jason specifically are doing PS5 stuff, and Moose is doing, you know, Tom Clancy stuff or Breath of the Wild. But if you get a chance, if it's on sale for Black Friday, please check it out.
Good note. Good
Noted,
recommendation.
sir.
The other thing I've been playing is another weird amount of resonance, despite not having the same experience as this character. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Let me fucking tell you, Ichiban Kasuga, the main character in this game, I love this guy. This guy is my fucking favorite. Not because early in the game, and I'm talking like within the first 10 minutes, he says he thinks about things in Dragon Quest terms. That's why this game is a turn-based beat 'em up, essentially. But this motherfucker is doing everything that he knows and is aware of, and he is holding steadfastly to that to that tradition that he knows, like, his boss, his Yakuza boss loves him. He knows that somewhere on the outside, his Yakuza boss is waiting, and he just wants to show back up and say, hey, I never forgot everything you did for me. And I'm spoiling the second chapter of this game only because that's as far as I am, and I apologize. So another couple of minutes. But the Yakuza boss turns around and goes, no, everything's going to plan. This guy's out. I knew this was happening. And he shoots the main character.
Why do I feel that was in a trailer or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I just saw Yakuza. I'm really fascinated by the Yakuza series, but I've never actually played one. This is my first one. And having spent, 5-10 hours with it, getting through the second chapter, I'm going to play every Yakuza game, and I'm going to report back every time I make progress in a Yakuza game. This is fucking dope, y'all. This game is fucking amazing. Not only because it takes the idea of a turn-based beat 'em up, and I know Treachery and Beatdown City came out this year. Yes, Jason, you'll know this. Okay,
Yep.
So I'm thinking about. It had me thinking about that game, but this is doing something very similar to the Tales series, which I don't know how front-facing I've been since Story Route Zero started, but the Tales series is my favorite JRPG series. But it's doing that, and I got to the point where I have a second member in my party. This game rips in a way that I was not ready for. But I had read, Dia Lucina at Paste, who gave it a 4.5 out of 10. But the rating shouldn't be what sells you on a game. It should be the words that go with it. And Dia's words sold me on this, despite being a 4 out of 10. Monty at Uppercut Crit reviewed it, didn't have a number score. But she sold me on this game. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. This is going to be my first Yakuza game. Frankly, I could not be happier because Ichiban Kasuga is the RPG protagonist that he is the ultimate RPG protagonist, but also he's kind of the RPG protagonist that games don't deserve, because no protagonist is as earnest and as for the cause as Ichiban Kasuga. Also, this game taps into my love of cinema, whereas most of the cutscenes that are dialogue driven tend to be shot in the frame that Yasujiro Ozu would in the 50s and 60s in Japan, where instead of like shooting it like a conversation, like say Goodfellas, everybody talking to each other, it was faced as, they're facing the camera, which is kind of jarring. He would play with the rules of like conversational symmetry in a way that was interesting, but not like too abstract for the audience to move past. And despite being anime as all get out, or maybe in service of being anime as all get out, this game never forgets it's a fucking game. Everything is dramatic and epic and bombastic, but still rooted in stories of just being human.
That's Yakuza in general.
And yeah, and I wouldn't know that because I've not played a Yakuza before this game. But I will say this. If you're on Twitter, try and avoid people talking about Yakuza, because there's a lot of... I wouldn't say I've been spoiled for story stuff, But there was this one person, and I don't remember who it was, but they shared a scene from the game where the best thing about, I think what they said was the best thing about the Yakuza series is it never forgets it's a video game. And you see a scene with Ichiban Kasuga and an actual chicken. And the chicken is hatching eggs at a rate that rivals most guns and firing them at Ichiban. And it made me so happy. And I'm like, I can't wait till I get to that part of this video game. Yakuza 7 fucking rips, and I cannot wait to finish it. I'm only 2 chapters in, and it's doing very much the 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim thing, where it's just like, I don't care how much further I have to go. Like, this is some of the best shit I've had this year. And yeah, I can't wait till we do our Game of the Year episode.
It's coming.
I'm very excited for that. But those 2 games are what I've been playing, and I know that I've kind of just dominated the conversation for what seems like 2 hours now. I apologize. Any thoughts? Any questions? I'll try and answer the best I can.
I already have one friend trying to get me to buy Yakuza 7, so I'm pretty sold on it. I'm just going to watch for sales because I bought so many games this year. It's ridiculous.
I will talk to you after the show.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I still haven't finished Judgment, which came out last year.
I haven't started Judgment. I need to do that.
That one takes itself a little bit more seriously.
Is that a Yakuza? Isn't that like a...
It's like a
It's the same
side
it's
thing.
It's the same studio, but
it's not
it's
the
actually
same series. No.
I think
not the same series.
I
Similar
think the only
gameplay.
Right, but
I
not
think-
the same. Yeah, it's not Yakuza.
I think it takes place in Kamurocho, which is where Yakuza is set.
Yeah, except flip side, like you're doing detective stuff, like very much.
And
the
like
opposite
and
of
like
being in
and
a
like
gang.
none of the characters. But Yakuza 7 fucking slaps. You should play it. If you get through the first act and you're not sold, stop. The first act is like maybe 3 hours long. So yeah. I'm looking at someone in this chat, but I don't think they'll see me because of sunglasses, but whatever. You should try it. Yeah, that exactly. So we've been going a long time. Normally we would do news about now.
We went a little long.
But
Yeah, we didn't get to the Game Awards noms yet.
well,
Yeah.
do you guys want to keep going? Are you guys able to keep going? If you are,
Yeah.
okay. So,
I'm
so-
doing-
How
I'm doing
long's
the Game
keep it
Awards.
going?
We just gotta keep it at a good pace.
I'm taking
Okay.
over.
So
Yeah,
before
Jason's
we go,
doing it.
I want to answer the email from last week because I was so excited to answer that, but I wasn't here last week because I was sick.
No, whoa. You missed it, buddy. You weren't here. You can message her. No, you're done. Mute him, Jason. Let's
that
go.
Annapurna bundle is
Let's
worth
go.
it. Just saying.
No, it's not. Let's go.
All right, here's the rules. I'm going to read off the nominees for each category. If you don't agree and you feel something else, just say what you think belongs. No elaboration, though. You just need the titles.
Fair.
Because we can go quite a while if we don't do it this way.
Okay.
Best debut game. Carry On, Mortal Shell, Raji, An Ancient Epic, Roki, and Phasmophobia. Anyone think anything belongs there that was
Paradise Killer.
it's a
Is that a
debut
debut game?
game?
Paradise Killer is a debut game. First game from Kaizen Works.
Okay.
Paradise Killer.
All right.
Best multiplayer. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Among Us, Warzone, Fall Guys, Valorant. Valorant seems weird
So
to
I
me.
feel Valorant seems appropriate because it came out this year.
But it's just
Right.
another.
I think multiplayer is an ongoing category though, right?
Among
there's
Us
also
came out 2
there is
years
an
ago.
ongoing.
It did.
Yeah,
Unless this
I
is
don't.
limited to 2020, maybe that's why.
That's just because
But
I don't know what their
2020.
criteria is for some of this. Some of these
Anyway.
nominations, I'm like,
Yeah. Best sports racing:
Yeah.
Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, and Tony Hawk.
Wait, that was best racing game?
Sports
Sports
slash
racing.
racing.
Sports racing.
Sports / racing. I was like Tony Hawk.
FIFA.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought
remasters
too.
and remakes. So remasters and remakes are okay.
Best sim.
remakes should be okay. That's my thing. Remaster is different. If it's a completely from the ground up, you remade that game this year, that's eligible. So like Resident Evil 2 last year, FF7 this year, Demon Souls, which didn't get any nominations, just saying this year, those are remakes. A remaster, which is just a graphical upgrade, unless it's a best remaster category, I'm going to say no. It's not a brand new game. Also, I'm going to give a knock. We're not there yet. When we get to the RPG category.
Go ahead.
Best sim / strategy: Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, XCOM Chimera Squad.
Stretching to call. I can't. I don't have appropriate thoughts to go here, but like, go ahead.
Best family game: Animal Crossing, Crash 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, Minecraft Dungeons, Paper Mario. I don't think Mario Kart Live belongs in the category.
No, I don't think it does either, because that's like phone. No, that doesn't belong in there.
It's a toy. Yeah, I know video games are toys, but
It's a peripheral turned game.
But I can't think of anything that would belong. I mean, I think it should be excluded.
Usually the family game is almost all Nintendo. Like last year, I think the whole category was Nintendo.
It was.
So
I think you're
little
right.
something's shaking it up this year.
Go Fall Guys.
Yeah, I say go Fall Guys.
I think I'm going to go Crash.
But see, here's the problem with Fall Guys. Can you play multiplayer locally?
No.
And then it's not like to me, family games is like we're sitting in a room, couch co-oping together.
Yeah.
I think might mean family friendly.
Two kids have been grounded to sit with their parents and play video games, and like Fall Guys, you can't even do that. So I don't know what it is.
Well, also the assumption is you probably have more than one thing you can play on in the house. But I think it also means family friendly game.
Okay. All right, then that makes sense then. Continue.
Best fighting game: Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter 5, One Punch Man, and Under Night in Birth EXE.
What?
If it's not Grand Blue or Under Night, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Okay.
It's not Mortal Kombat. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, probably.
But Mortal Kombat's from a couple years ago, right?
It's always there's a new one all the time. Yeah.
Oh, is it this year?
Yeah, it's not 10. It's 11.
I revised my.
He retracts that statement, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't realize Mortal Kombat came out this year because 2020 has been a fucking.
It always fucking comes out.
Best role playing. This is weird. It only had one game.
This is the category.
Final Fantasy 7. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Final Fantasy 7, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royale, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza.
This is the one where I'm going to say I don't know that P5R should be nominated because it's essentially a complete version of the game with previously unreleased DLC, if you want to think of it that way. I don't think it belongs in the nominees. Yes, it's a very fucking good game and you should play it, but I don't think it belongs in the 2020 nominees.
I'm with Michaela on this one completely. Like, Persona is one of my favorite series of all time. This should have been here 2017 when it came out.
I spent 125 hours in this game.
They're doing the blood and wine thing with The Witcher that they did. Like, that's what they're doing. So all due respect, Atlas, Persona team, you don't belong here today.
Swap it out for Demon Souls.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
All right,
Moose.
moving along. Moving along.
Best action
But
adventure.
Yakuza Like a Dragon is real good.
That too.
Day One Ass Creed, Ghost of Tsushima.
Wait.
Spider-Man.
Sorry. What was the category?
Action
Best
adventure.
action adventure.
Okay, go ahead.
Day
Sorry.
One Ass Creed,
Day one ask me.
Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Ori, Fallen Order, The Last of Us.
I mean, if it's
What's
not
Fallen-
Ghost of Tsushima, if it's
Demon
not
Souls
Ghost
could
of
be in here. Demon Souls got no noms. It could be in all.
if it's not Ghost of Tsushima or what was the one right before that?
Oh, Fallen
Valhalla.
Order was Star Wars, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Swap.
If
Get
it-
that the fuck out of here. Put Neo 2
No,
in here.
I think
Neo
it
2's
belongs
in
in there.
action instead of action adventure. It got nominated.
What was the
elsewhere.
one right before?
This is
Valhalla,
action adventure.
Tsushima,
No, not Valhalla.
Spider-Man, Ori.
Yeah, if it's not Ghost of Tsushima or Spider-Man, fuck off.
I don't think Spider-Man's long enough to be whatever. Never mind.
Length of game doesn't equate to goodness.
I understand
Probably the
that.
same length as Ori.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jason.
Best action. Doom, Hades,
No.
Half-Life
Yes.
Alex, Neo 2, Streets of Rage 4.
Hades.
Neo 2, this is the only nom it's ever going to get, and it pisses me off because it's such an underrated quality game, the whole franchise, I mean, but yep, moving on.
Yeah. No, agreed. Hades. Someone's not played
Hades.
Neo 2 yet, but Hades.
Innovation and accessibility. I can't even speak to any of these really, but Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperdot, The Last of Us, and Watch Dogs Legion.
This one has to be The Last of Us or I'm going to be really mad.
It's probably gonna be
Well,
The Last of Us.
I
can
don't
speak to
know
that
about-
one actually, but
I don't know about the other, I mean, it really depends on what lengths they've gone to be accessible. But the one I've heard the most about is Last of Us.
You can
Naughty
literally
Dog's
play the game
Hyperdot
without
is.
looking at it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what Hyperdot is. So I mean, I don't know what any of these other games did for accessibility, so I can't speak to it. But the only one that anybody has gone out of their way to talk about is fucking Last of Us because it's a big AAA game from one of the big console makers.
But that's not the only reason they talked about it. They did a lot. They went above and beyond.
No,
like,
they did.
you've heard me
Again.
talk about accessibility is a thing
Again,
that I
if
pay
this
attention to.
if this were Ubisoft doing this, less would be said than it being
AC
Sony.
Valhalla is nominated, but they
So
didn't
is Watch
do
Dogs.
what
Again.
Valhalla is. Yeah.
Again, but how much has been how many words have been written about the accessibility in these games versus Last of Us?
Well, Last of Us, that was one of the things the developers were purposely promoting. They came out and were talking about it on social media, and then it got picked up by the news.
Sure.
Because that was
Sure.
one of their.
Moving along.
that's
But
VR.
but all of that
Moving
translates.
along. Thank you.
Best VR
Sorry,
AR.
Dad.
Dreams, Half-Life Alex, Iron Man, Star Wars Squadrons, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
I think Squadrons will get it.
I don't think Squadrons belongs though because it's not. All the other titles are VR only.
No, Dreams isn't.
Dreams is a VR only.
Dreams
Oh,
is in
okay.
VR only.
And never mind. Best community support: Apex, Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Valorant.
I mean, all of those communities support their games super hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Gonna be
I hope,
I have
No
no
Man's
idea on
Sky
that one.
wins it.
I hope
because-
No Man's Sky wins it just because that's the one that I have the most attachment to. But
Right. Well, I also think. Never mind. Moving on.
Best mobile game: Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, Pokemon Cafe Mix.
I haven't played
Among
any
Us
of
came
those.
out a couple of years ago. I'm sorry. It's so
Yeah, that's another one. Like, it shouldn't be in here just because it suddenly got popular.
Yeah, it's
It should
like,
be because it released this year.
I mean, and I know that Jeff Keighley is the face of this. I know that he's not the nominator, but like also, just because Jeff Keighley found out about it this year doesn't mean it came out this year. Fuck off.
Best indie: Carry On, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, Spiritfarer.
3, 2, 1.
Hades.
Hades.
Yeah,
Well,
Hades. Yeah,
I
exactly.
just
You kind of froze.
category I don't like at all because there's not enough nominations. There should be 10 more games in there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's your best
Um,
indie then, Jason?
I could put.
Aren't we gonna
Scary
find out in
Flavor,
a couple weeks?
West of Dead.
We will find out in a couple of weeks. Moving along.
You will next week actually.
Is it next week?
Yeah. Next
Game
week.
of the Year's next week?
No, well,
So categories
categories.
next week.
We talk about the categories, right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Where's this
That's
year
all-
gone?
Best ongoing: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky.
All right, I'm gonna have to say Warzone gets the fuck out of here because Call of Duty comes out with a new game every fucking year. So
Yeah,
no,
it's not ongoing.
get out of here. That's
It's
not
not
ongoing. That's just a new iteration every year. So
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
see, now they're just gonna add Warzone to every fucking campaign. So fuck off.
I hate to
feel-
admit it, but the amount of content they put in Fortnite is absurd.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Oh wait, no.
hilarious.
Warzone's the free to play one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's the
battle
free
royale.
one.
Okay,
That's- yeah.
I'm thinking their games in general. Never mind. So yeah, that's fine. That belongs in there. I would love to see No Man's Sky pick this up.
I don't think it will. It's tough. Like Jason was saying, we might all be sick to death of Fortnite, but they do push it out.
Right.
See.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, if they support it, that's fucking awesome, and they keep
Yeah.
it going, and it stays
They
popular.
have a huge
That's cool.
player base.
Yeah. I mean, that works too. I think Final Fantasy 14 was in it last year, and I wish they would.
Yeah, it was because
Yeah.
that was when the it had an expansion that came out last year.
Shadowbringer, I think, came out
Yes,
last year.
Shadowbringers came out last July.
Anyways, continuing, Jason.
Games for Impact: If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, Through the Darkest of Times.
I feel like nobody talked about Tell Me Why.
All of these games deserve it
Mm-hmm.
on some level, and that's what makes it fucking hard.
And I couldn't think of anything else.
I mean, all of these games do it for such different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious which one I would put mine.
Through
We
the
know
Darkest of
it's-
Times.
yeah.
Duh.
We can guess.
Best Performance: Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Laura Bailey as Abby, Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai, Logan Cunningham as Hades, and Najee Jeter as Miles Morales.
I think there's a couple snubs here.
Fucking right there it is.
This is, I mean, there's not a ton of nominations, but
I mean, Logan. Did you say Logan Cunningham?
Mm-hmm.
Like they picked Hades for him,
well, he did like
Hades.
what six of them.
Yeah, but like Hades was not even the best one that he did.
Dude, give
There's
it to
probably
freaking.
snubs, but I don't think anyone in here doesn't belong. But I don't
Exactly.
think
True.
there's
No,
enough
exactly,
spots.
exactly.
True, but there are some I mean, pretty much anyone from Hades could get in here. They all did phenomenal jobs, and their main jobs aren't voice like Darren freaking Korb, who does the music, voiced
He's the music
Zagreus and
director,
Skelly.
and he did the voice.
Zagreus
yeah.
and the most Jersey ass character in the history of video games.
Yeah. But also, no offense to Daisuke, in his role as Jin, he did a good job, but was that one of the standout voice performances of the year? I thought Patrick Gallagher kind of stole the show as the villain, as the Khan in that game.
Preach.
So big props to him. Also, I'm going to go here and say this real quick.
Do it.
They consciously made a decision in a franchise where it is very easy to upset the fans to replace the entire voice cast for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. There are established voice actors for these characters. They chose to go fresh, and these guys killed it, especially Britt Baron for Tifa, Brianna White for Aerith, and John Eric Bentley for Barrett. Any one of them could have been and should have been in this category. They did a phenomenal fucking job.
Michaela dropping fire. Love it.
Best audio design. This is studio, not composers. Doom, Half-Life, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, The Last of Us Part 2.
The only one of those games I played was Ghost of Tsushima. I'm an idiot and I still haven't played Doom.
Yep. Best score and music. Doom Eternal, Mick Gordon. Final Fantasy VII, Nobu. Hades, Darren Korb. Ori, Gareth Coker. And Last of Us, Gustavo Santaolalla.
Yeah, like 3 of these nominations need to go away.
I have a
Last
problem.
of Us.
Surprisingly, I have a problem with the Doom one, with all the controversy over whether Mick mixed some of the latter tracks. There's a whole thing about he came out and said he didn't, and they used them. So maybe that should be 2 people up for Doom, or
Yeah, actually,
Doom
yeah.
doesn't
I was gonna
belong.
say FF7 absolutely belongs in this category, but I don't
Nah,
know
it
that
doesn't.
Nobu. Yeah. Whoa, easy over there.
Just
I
stoking
will
fires.
come hit you.
Great.
But I don't know that Nobu should be the only credit there because it's his original music, but he didn't do the remake of it necessarily. That was handled by
To
other.
be fair, some of these had multiple names,
Okay.
and I just didn't write them all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to say it right here. Kentucky Route Zero is one of the best video games of all time, or one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. It should be there, and it's not. Paradise
really.
Killer. Fuck off. Paradise Killer is fucking amazing and should be celebrated. It is one of the best video game soundtracks I can immediately think of.
Best art direction. Final Fantasy VII, Ghost, Hades, Ori, Last of Us.
Hades.
That's a tough one because it's hard to compare stylized, animated, colorful versus the trying for realism look with like you got with Last of Us. It's like apples and oranges.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Ghost and Last of Us are easier to compare than comparing Hades
to the rest of them. Yeah.
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 Like you compare Hades and Ori more easily than you compare Hades and Last of Us. It's like
Right.
That's a true statement. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Last of Us has no business being in that conversation.
Is okay.
It really doesn't. I'm just trying to. Sorry.
Best narrative. 13 Sentinels, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost, Hades, Last of Us.
13 Sentinels is another one where I gotta argue, should this game be in the category for this year? Because it's been out, just not here.
That's a true statement.
That's a true statement, but also like
That's a tough one.
it really is.
I like that it got recognized.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff Keighley's awards tends to snub a lot of the Japanese games.
Fucking right they do.
Unless he's in it.
So unless he's in it. True.
Best game direction. Final Fantasy VII, Ghost, Hades, Half-Life, Last of Us.
Okay, you know what? Okay, this is going to be the time where I show my whole ass. Now, this does not stand with my co-hosts and Michaela, and I know that specifically I'm going to assume Michaela and Moose will probably be angry with me. Fucking get rid of Final fucking
Oh, no.
Fuck Final Fantasy VII. Fuck it. I am sick of fucking hearing about it.
Well, that's too fucking bad. It's a fucking great fucking game.
Maybe. But
he's just salty because
here's my fucking point. Here's my fucking
Going
point.
on a tirade.
Just let me have my bullshit marginalized point of view. Get over it.
No.
All of y'all.
No? Read my article. Did you read my article?
Yes, I did. And your article was very well written. And frankly, I can't recall it right now because beer. But I'm getting sick of hearing
articles.
how old games are the only way to go.
Whoa,
And
whoa, 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 whoa. That's not why this game
Stop,
direction.
let me finish.
Oh
Let me
my
finish
God.
my fucking sentence, please. I'm getting sick of hearing about how Final Fantasy VII is like the epitome. It is the Ave fucking Maria of all fucking video games. I'm getting sick of hearing about it. This is only a me thing, Michaela. So before you get angry at me, this is just my now I'm also saying that as someone who's never played it.
Yeah.
But also,
Right?
I'm
This is what
also,
we're working with, Michaela.
Still going. All right. I don't like it
Oh,
because
what-
it's an old game, though. That's the thing. While he's not here, I don't like it because it's an old game. They remade this game. It is
Yeah.
a new continuation of Final Fantasy VII. It is not the same as the original. They took a lot of risks changing something that so many people hold up as the holy grail. FF7, the original, is not my favorite FF. To me, it's not the epitome of Japanese RPGs or Final Fantasy. It did a lot for the industry. Not saying that, but they took risks. They made these characters come to life. The combat, that hybrid combat that I have been talking about for years, they realized it, they actualized it, they implemented the shit out of it. They made it slick, they made it smooth. We're not supposed to be doing this with our review of the Game Awards categories, but I'm doing it because he started it, and I'm gonna finish it because he can't be here to shut me up right now. They made a hell of a game that kept me up at night thinking about it because it redefined the potential of remake. He missed all of it.
All right,
And
Jason,
Game of the
moving
Year.
along.
He can hear it
you
on
guys
Thursday.
didn't even let me fucking finish. Fuck you all. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Will you shut your laptop? You took your headphones off and shut your laptop.
I got muted. What am I supposed to do?
He
I
got
can't
muted
unmute
too.
myself.
Oh, I didn't know he got
first.
muted. All right, children. All right,
Also,
children.
by the way,
No, I want to finish my fucking sentence, okay? That's all I want to do. Then we can move on, and we could have been moved on. But my point is, I'm getting sick of hearing that games from the 90s are the only games that are worth it. I'm getting sick of hearing
Who says that?
these are the games.
This game's not from the 90s.
Everybody that's a fucking Final Fantasy VII fan. No disrespect, Jason. Final Fantasy VI is right behind him.
but Final Fantasy 16.
Everybody says,
Never mind.
Stop. Everybody says that like the best games ever are from between 91 and 99.
I don't say
Yes.
that.
No,
Who says that?
Everybody.
Who?
I was negative
I don't
3
see
to 8
anybody
years old.
saying
Now,
that.
now, this is why I need to finish my fucking sentence uninterrupted.
theories.
Now, most people, and everyone, it doesn't mean every single person in the history of fucking human civilization. It's a statement on the majority of people. That's what happens when you get into a conversation about video games in the 90s. It's like, oh, Chrono Trigger is the best one. Final Fantasy VII is the best one. Fucking move on. And it's just like what Moose always says about how the Beatles are trash. I don't agree that the Beatles are trash. I agree that the world has moved on from the Beatles, but we cannot argue with the precedent that the Beatles set in popular music. Now, get over it. We don't even have the full fucking Final Fantasy game. We only have 1/3
Okay,
of
you
it.
can't say that
If
wasn't
that.
a full game though. You need to play it. I need you
Have you
to
played it?
on
You
Thursday.
have access to it. Play it,
upload
and then make.
No, I don't
On
want to
Thursday-
play Final
on Thursday
Fantasy.
though, I need you
There's
when
only
it's uploaded. I need
There's
you
only
to hear
one Final
what I
Fantasy
said.
game I've wanted to play in the last 20 years, and that's Final Fantasy 14. If I'm going to play anything, I'm going to play that.
You,
Okay.
So you come with this strong ass opinion about the game, and you've never played the game. You never played the
But I
original.
also stated
never
that this
played
is,
the-
I also stated that this is a me thing, not a y'all
Right.
thing.
Right? No, I understand that, but what I'm saying,
But we're
saying,
also talking about industry nominations here.
right?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move along.
Why remake old shit? Do new shit. That's all I'm saying.
They
They
made
did
it
do
new shit.
new shit. Play the game, and
deviated
you'll
from the
see that it's
original
new
game.
shit.
But why is it
It's
called a
new
remake
shit.
then? Then why is it a
Because
remake?
it's remake.
Why is it a
My
remake?
whole article
So
It's
all
not-
Talks
you're
about how
doing.
there's 3 levels to the word remake. There's 3 different meanings to the word remake
So
in the fucking game. Reread
so-
my article, please.
So remake. We're just gonna remake a game from 23
They
years
remade
ago.
it in that they changed it. They
Oh,
changed where the story is
Yes,
going.
they changed it. It's an action battle system rather
No,
than a
not
No,
turn-based
not the battle
Story.
system,
They
you
changed
fucking
the
story,
retard. The
too.
story.
Please
You
don't
fucking
use
moron.
don't use
Jason.
the R word. Don't use the R word on me.
Let's go.
And
Oh.
like I said, I said this was a me thing. Y'all
I
didn't
know,
have
and
to
I'm
chime in.
giving you my piece here.
You
but you
coulda
didn't want to
just-
listen to
You're
it.
saying it's a me thing, and
It is a me
like, you
thing.
have- all right,
It is
whatever.
a me thing. It's a me thing.
I need
That's
you to
it.
re-listen to the part you missed when you weren't on the frame here on Thursday when this gets over. I need you to listen to my piece. That's all.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
All
repeat
right,
it.
Jason.
Game of the year.
Oh God.
Fuck this.
Final Fantasy.
Of course.
Because
Doom.
it's a good fucking game.
Ghost. Hades. Animal Crossing. Last of Us.
I just want to say I appreciate the amount of fear you had with each nomination. You were just looking up at us.
No, it was for effect. As much as I hate Animal Crossing, and I think it's not for me. Selling
Right.
30 million games since March is absolutely absurd and
Yeah.
is unheard of for a video game.
It is weird that in
What
this
is it?
list,
What is the total sales on Switch? Isn't that like almost 1-for-1?
Yeah.
That's
Not
almost
quite.
like. I mean, it's got to be
It's up
close.
there with like Mario Kart 8, which is still, I believe, the top seller for the system.
Okay.
But I think that just this game got a lot of people through the pandemic so far.
Right. Right.
So it resonated. I don't think it will or should win Game of the Year, but to me, the nomination is a win for a lot of these games and a lot of these.
Oh,
categories.
definitely. I mean, I think it's
65
weird that
million consoles so far.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's
like,
weird. I think it's weird
Yeah.
that in the
Little less.
year 2020, taking that on face value, despite what 2020 actually was, the one that doesn't seem to fit here is Doom Eternal.
I was gonna say Doom could
that is the
go.
one that surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, after going on what I did about Final Fantasy VII, I'm still gonna say
It's a new
you
game.
know, Doom Eternal is the one that doesn't belong here. I want you all to fucking notice that. But and I know Jason loved Doom Eternal. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not.
But I think the overwhelming consensus is it didn't do what 2016 Doom did.
Mm-mm.
Like that seems to be
That doesn't
what
mean it can't be a good game. I just don't think it had this like the same. It didn't have the same impact. I don't know how big a player base it generated. I don't know how much it did to advance beyond 2016.
Exactly. But like
I
that's
think-
also saying like, yeah, there are plenty of good Beach Boys albums, but none of them are fucking Pet Sounds. So
But I also don't remember what got nominated in 2016 if Doom got the nom then.
it
I
did.
think
I believe
2016
it
Doom
did.
though was more of a kick in the teeth type. Doom's back, like
Yeah.
It was also coming out of nowhere because Doom 3 was like what 2009.
Well, also Doom 2016 came out
Oh.
within weeks of Uncharted 4, and a lot of
Yeah.
people missed it immediately.
Well,
But then
and-
when they heard about it from the people who didn't miss it, everyone jumped on it.
That's also two very different games.
Yeah.
Right, but you figure if you're a Sony fanboy or fangirl, Uncharted's the one. You're gonna pick that up.
I also think the overarching press for Doom 2016 was like, yeah, another Doom game's coming out, but then it came out and everyone's like, yo, fucking Doom, right? Because even the preview coverage was not positive. But then when the game came out and it was a crystallized form of that preview coverage, people were like, yo, what you told us before was not what this is. And this is way better than what you told us before. Why'd you hold out on us? Whereas this one has seemed, everyone was overwhelmingly positive on the preview coverage, but the end result was like, yeah, it's just more of that preview coverage, which, that's just game coverage in general. It's fucking weird. It's harkening back to music preview coverage where everyone's like, yeah, I've heard these singles from this album. It's going to be great. But then they hear it and like, nope, this fucking sucks. So yeah, I think because Doom Eternal had that narrative versus the 2016 narrative, that's why it kind of might not belong here. Not saying it's a bad game, but I think others might. I feel like if Hades doesn't get this, I'm going to riot.
I'd be very surprised if Hades gets this because it is the only indie game in a big boys AAA club.
The game that's going to get it is stupid ass Last of Us 2.
That one did divide a lot of people though, but the popular vote doesn't decide this thing, as we all know. It's just like voting for president. So. Yes,
the Keeley Electoral College.
Act 2, left corner, cardboard box, picture of Keeley's ass. Last of Us wins. That's how it's voted on. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, what? I'm like, what happened?
No, I think Last of Us definitely belongs there.
It does.
Sure.
If you've played it, I mean.
Yeah, and I have not.
Divided or not, it's a phenomenal game.
It is a phenomenal game. I have issues with the structure and organization of the story from a writer's point of view. That doesn't mean it doesn't belong in the category with a nomination. I don't know that it deserves it over the other ones necessarily to win. But Last of Us is an established Sony franchise with beloved characters, although some people are now. But you've got Hades is tough against these guys because they're indie. You've got Ghost of Tsushima, it's tough up against these guys because it's a brand new IP. Stuff like that, it's going to be very difficult for certain games to win in this category, no matter how quality they are.
Yeah. You're right. But I still think Hades should win.
I'm
going to say that. I just think Hades should win.
The end of the night, these awards are for the developers more than,
Yes.
That doesn't mean.
Agreed.
If Hades wins, it's like, oh my God, you didn't play Hades. What's wrong with you? It was Game of the Year. It's like,
I think that's already happening because of the nomination. So many people slept on this game, or they came to it late, or they're like, oh, is it really that good? Because everybody was talking about it and I didn't play it. I think the nomination alone has already started to generate that extra post-launch hype cycle for the game.
Oh yeah, there are people going, oh, I didn't play that because it didn't look like realistic. So I don't like games that don't look realistic. There are plenty.
Like games
you might not like the play style.
Right? Games look like real life.
Hades
sucks sometimes.
Some people Hades play style, some people don't like that.
Yeah, some people just don't like roguelikes.
That's
valid. They don't like the repetition.
They don't want All right. And last but not least, any we always get fun game reveals. Any predictions?
I have some.
Elden Ring's going to be there.
Yeah, Elden Ring's likely candidate, especially with that "We Remember It Exists" tweet from them a little while ago. You remember that?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, and don't forget about."
Like, we thank you for your patience. We know it's still here. It's still going. We haven't canceled.
Well, this is my whole thing. Like, it's really funny about that game. Like, we're in a party chat majority of the time on PS4 with like huge fans of the Souls series, and all I hear is like, "Are we gonna get Elden Ring news? Are we gonna get Elden Ring?" I'm like, "Shut up!" Like, obviously, it's not coming out this year, so who fucking cares? Like, get over it. Keep playing Dark Souls 3. Go out and buy a PS5 and play some Demon Souls, or find a used PS3 and play Demon Souls on there. Like, shut the hell up. Like,
well,
it drives me freaking crazy. I'm like,
yeah, FromSoft.
It's hilarious how many people that you run with, Moose, and I'm not like, but like they all play Dark Souls 3. Like,
I know. I got a buddy, Jason. I want you to look at TV's time in Dark Souls 3, but I bet you it's like twice the amount I have in Division 2, which is 1,105 hours, which is probably now 1,111. But anyways, I bet you he's twice that amount, and it's just like, guys, y'all need chill. Just let it happen. It'll happen when it happens, and play it when it comes out. You know what I mean?
FromSoft is not that big a studio, and Sekiro just came out last year.
Right.
And so between 2015 and 2019, they put out Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and all the DLC for all three of those.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they announced Elden Ring a little early compared to when they announced like Sekiro.
Right.
But I mean, realistically, next year.
Sekiro was like the previous year, right? Like it was
March
announced
2019. Sekiro won Game of the Year last year.
Yeah, so it came. Yeah, no, I mean like they announced it and it came out like the next year.
They announced it at the Game Awards. They did the release date at E3, and then it came out the following March.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
A little more than a year.
I think since Demon Souls, even if you include DLC, From Software has released a new game, I think every 18 months since 2009.
No, it was a little
Now-
bit. I mean, it depends on.
Now, hang on. It's not a hard and fast rule because it's an average, but because I know
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3
We're the closest together.
were the closest.
14,
And then-
15, and 16.
Yeah, and then a little
yeah,
bit
Dark
more
Souls
of a gap.
3,
to
Dark
6.
Souls 3, and Sekiro was the longest gap.
Yeah, it was
But I think
16 and 19, right?
Yes.
18 months is about the average.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but then like they also released some pretty sizable chunks of DLC for Dark Souls 3
exactly.
the following
Exactly.
year. And they were and also
And they just updated Sekiro too.
and they were also kind of like quote unquote saying goodbye to the Dark Souls series as far as From Software is concerned. So I'm sure, it took them a while to put all that together to have that out there. But
So now it comes to the question, do we get a Demon Souls 2 or a Bloodborne 2?
I think Bloodborne 2 is more likely, but Sony's going to have to be the one to pull the trigger.
Right?
I agree with that statement. I have a feeling it'll be Studio Japan I think they'll flip it. Studio Japan will be the main developer with some backup coordination with From Software, whereas in Bloodborne was From Software working, with Studio Japan assisting.
What if they just give Blue Point Bloodborne 2?
I mean, see, I've always wanted to see Blue Point do their own game. Like I
Their
feel
own
like
game, but I'd like to see them do their own IP too.
See, no, that's where I was kind of going with that. Like, I want to see Sony just be like, I'd love to see Sony swoop in and be like, y'all are ours now. Like, just snatch them up, purchase them, because they've done such a great job with Gravity Rush. A lot of people, it's underrated, but the Titanfall port to 360 was phenomenal. They did a great job starting there. The Drake collection was great. Shadow of the Colossus really kicked it off.
Yeah.
And now it's Demon Souls. And it's like, I'd love to see them just, and you know what, maybe if I would approach them and be like, do y'all want to do your own game? And if they're like, no, we want to remake it. We like remaking games. That's fine then. Like, let them do their own thing, but like give them a chance to like make their own game. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they've done a great job with Demon Souls because like it's getting rave reviews and it looks great, but it's just like, I'd like to see them do their own thing. So it would be cool. I mean, if they get like their own game, but it's a sequel, that would be cool. Or if it's their own IP, that would be cool. But
I think the most ideal version of this particular story is someone has come to Blue Point and said, what do y'all want to remake?
that's probably been the conversation.
And they're like, well, we want to do this because clearly your community is looking for it and we feel like we can do one better.
So the rumor is, the Twitter, the YouTube channel Moore's Law is Dead had tweeted out, Demon Souls was phenomenal. Blue Point's next game will be, and in all caps, solid.
Metal Gear Solid, because there's rumors that Metal Gear Solid's getting remade.
Either way, I don't think we hear anything at the Game Awards.
No,
Agreed.
too
Right.
soon. Way too
No, that
soon.
is way too soon.
Especially
Way
since
too
they
soon.
didn't get any noms. But whatever.
Yeah.
And even though they met the
I
deadline.
think
Blue
there's a
Point representatives come on stage at the Game Awards. Fuck you, Jeff Keighley, for not nominating. Out.
But see, here's the problem with that though, is Metal Gear Solid's been on multiple platforms with what is it, the Phantom Pain. So and
Well,
Blue
maybe that
Point's
one's not
mainly be
exclusive.
doing Sony stuff, and I don't think they're gonna step away from that.
Was
That's
Phantom
kinda like
Pain on
Insomniac.
Xbox?
I could have swore it was, yeah. It was cross-platform.
I'm actually asking because
I'll give me a second and I'll hard Google it. Or
hard Google that. In fact, I want to know what hard Googling is now.
Yes, it was on Xbox One. It was on 4, Xbox One, 3, and Xbox 360. So I think that was the first Metal Gear. Well, because Metal Gear Solid 3 was on them all. The only one that wasn't was 4 and 1.
Yeah, 4 and 1.
And 2.
Yeah,
2 and Substance were like a remaster. But anyways.
Subsistence, yeah.
That's like a whole nother thing. But I don't see, I don't know.
Well, in terms of
so anyways, Elden Ring, we went on a way tangent there.
I think we see a Valve Xbox announcement because Keighley teased something about a Zoom call with Gabe and Phil Spencer. So I don't know exactly.
Or they could just be participating in the show. It's unclear.
Something maybe like, part of your Steam library could be shared.
But see, like, Gabe fucking hates Windows, the Windows Store. And he just hates the Microsoft like ecosystem. So it's like really interesting. Like, I wonder how much money they floated their way to get that.
Like, you think my bullshit with Final Fantasy VII was comical? Wait till you go dig into Gabe Newell hating on Windows. It's a good time.
But anyways, that could be cool.
Nintendo 64 on Switch.
I think Nintendo's going to announce that next year. That is.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo doesn't tend to do much at the Game Awards. Like I think we got Joker and Smash at the Game Awards a couple years ago, that announcement, maybe.
I think you're right.
But they don't tend to do what?
Last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, Nintendo mainly does it Tuesday at 9 a.m. without telling anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Nintendo has gone dark this year.
Well,
Nintendo doesn't give a fuck.
But see, here's the other thing. Nintendo could throw a curveball and just be like, here's something at the Game Awards because we haven't said shit about anything this year. Like, what about Bayonetta 3? You know,
Metroid Prime was in a hole somewhere.
Metroid Prime 4 has.
I think Nintendo will want to do it themselves. For anything big, I think they're going to want to own it themselves rather than give it to Keighley, especially when it's not in a good time zone frame for their primary audience, which will always be Japan.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, also the fact that like they don't control the messaging. So like it's live. He could say something, screw something up, like something could go wrong. It's just they put out the video and the video plays.
Yeah, they do pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna float this one. Ratchet and Clank release date trailer at the Game Awards.
I could see that. I could totally see that.
And I'm gonna say I'm thinking March or maybe April for the drop.
Birthday present for Moose.
And me.
Well, I've heard a couple of rumors about some bonus hazard pay shit at work. And if that happens, PS5 might be in my future. So
if you can find one, hope you can.
I mean, you know, at that point I will start looking and being vigilant about looking. So
also, I want to go indies real quick. It's probably too soon to hear from Supergiant again, even though they did announce Hades and release Hades into early access at the Game Awards 2 years ago in December 2018. Silk Song trailer at the Game Awards.
That'd be dope.
That'd be
dope. Good call, Michaela.
Thank you. I worked on this list.
She actually did her homework. I really didn't.
Well, I wrote a lot of stuff in a notebook that I left in my locker at work. So
what if we got something from FromSoft, but it wasn't
Elden
Ring? What if it was Armored Core? Because they've been talking about that.
I don't think they'll announce something new when they haven't done an update on Elden Ring.
I
think they should. Listen, that's why I'm saying.
I think they'll piss people off though.
Well, those people could go suck a dick, man. Seriously, I'm tired of these freaking people. Like,
I am too new in my mech anime re-acquaintance for you to start teasing me like this. Please
listen.
Don't do this.
This is my problem with like fan bases. It's like they catch a whiff, and then all of a sudden it's like, why isn't the game out in 2 weeks? Why isn't the game out in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
and it's
no,
like,
it fucking sucks.
Up, dude.
It's stupid.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about Elden Ring. I don't want to hear about it. until it's like coming out that like do the Fallout thing. Fallout 4, announce it in March and it comes out in fucking November. That's when I want to hear it. So that's why I'm saying Armored Core, I think, has been in production way longer than Elden Ring, and that's why we're going to hear something.
Well, do we know Armored Core has been in production?
We don't.
They said they're working on a new Armored Core title.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that it's been in production longer than Elden Ring for sure, because we don't know how long Elden Ring.
The announcement that they were working on it was way before Elden Ring.
But that doesn't mean they weren't working on the concept.
I mean, you do have a point, because our Railroad Martin takes forever to write anything.
I know.
So
he's honestly probably the thing holding this up.
He could have probably been writing that story since like
before Game of Thrones.
Before Game of Thrones.
But the other thing I want to get in there is thinking about Elden Ring, games that were announced that time, then pushed, don't have release dates, etc. Tales of Arise could be an interesting one for the Game Awards, because that one was supposed to come this year. We don't have a new release window, except for maybe next year. Some updated info would be great for that. But again, Japanese, Jeff Keighley, could we hear from Kojima with his new project that he's told us he is definitely working on something new?
Oh, we definitely
that would be
hear
cool.
from Kojima.
Because
Kojima's going to walk on
Keighley
stage
are
and be like, I'm working on something, and then I don't know what it is yet, but we're working on something.
Also, I should make you guys aware of a bet. I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to risk it for the biscuit here.
Oh, you done fucked up, Michaela.
We know for a fact it's too early for an FF16 trailer. They said the next big update will not be in 2021.
Trailer though.
No, they said the next big update will be in 2021.
Okay.
We know it's too soon for that next trailer. I told Jess I would be in one of her TikTok videos if they show anything, a teaser trailer for FF7 Remake Part 2.
Uh-oh.
So there is a bet on the line here. Because I'm saying that they won't do it, so I'm banking on that they won't do it, because I'm not getting in a fucking TikTok video.
Yeah, you are.
So hang on. Let me download this TikTok app.
What's her username?
I don't even have a TikTok. I don't even know what Jess's username is.
I'm creating the Story Route Zero TikTok app, and you are going to. I'm going to find your roommate Jess, and I'm going to become friends, and we're going to be like, "Hey,
good luck with that."
Probably.
I'm trying to think if I had any others.
Downloading.
That we hadn't gone over already, but we haven't really talked about like new reveals from like studios that have been quiet lately. So I'm trying to think if there's anything, any notable first-party studios, especially for the major platforms that we haven't heard from. Not Nintendo, because they won't do that, but I'm thinking Sony and Microsoft.
I bet you see Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2 was revealed last year at the Game Awards, wasn't it?
So I can
Sony Bend, we don't know what they've been doing since Days Gone. They could be working on a sequel. They could be working on a new property, but I don't think that they will show up here.
Siphon Filter.
If they announce Siphon Filter, I will start playing Dark Souls 2.
How much promotion is there going to be for Cyberpunk since it releases the same day, supposedly, as the Game Awards?
Fuck off with Cyberpunk.
Seriously,
sorry,
Cyberpunk's been done to shit for like the past decade. We don't need more Cyberpunk shit. It's done. No, I'm kidding.
But
I have
it releases the same
experienced
day.
I have experienced enough of people saying the word cyberpunk, not necessarily in relation to the CD Projekt Red game. Just I've heard so much cyberpunk this year. I'm fucking done with it. And Dr. Disrespect can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, they're probably gonna do something because ultimately Keighley's show does need revenue, and it does need to like make enough money to be put on next year. So it's probably gonna happen.
I'm gonna throw this out as an unlikely one, but it just occurred to me thinking about quiet studios. It hasn't been that long. It's been about 2 years, a little over 2 years. It'll be 2 years and 1 month and 3 days. New Rockstar project.
Stock much?
Wait, what?
New Rockstar project.
2 years, 1 month, and 3 days? Really, Michaela?
It will be 2 years and 1 month in 3 days because the Red Dead 2 came out on October 26th, 2018. And it's currently November 23rd. I
appreciate you being here because you point out the degree to which I am terrible at following this industry. So I just want you to know I respect the hell out of you for doing that.
I have a slightly eidetic memory.
Well, Didn't they say that Grand Theft Auto 6 was coming in 2022?
People have speculated about GTA 6.
Yeah.
People have speculated about a Bully revival.
Yeah.
Now there has been talks of that. That would be cool to see.
Most of Rockstar's IP have been on the table in terms of
And-
revival. I don't think they've leaned any way as a company. Rockstar has not leaned any particular way yet.
But I feel like if you want to play like Smuggler's Run for the tennis game, whatever they made, like all that's playable in Grand Theft Auto. So like it to me it makes the most sense for them to be doing a Bully one. If they're gonna pick any of the IPs, that's different enough because like you can look at like Smuggler's Run if they want that IP to make it's like, oh, we'll just do the smuggling jobs in Grand Theft Auto 6 and you're good to go. You know what I mean? Or go play tennis with Michael's wife or something like that. So I feel like Bully would be cool if they did like a remaster. It would be
game.
I would have no doubt that they would announce that they're remastering Bully and Bully 2's coming out. And if you pre-order the Grand Deluxe Edition of Bully 2, you get the remaster of Bully with it. I could see them totally doing something like that.
Yeah. Sony has also hinted that they haven't revealed everything that they're going to reveal for like next year's lineup or slightly beyond. Because I think with Ratchet and Clank probably coming out first, and then Horizon, and then God of War, I don't think they're going to have room for all three or any more big AAA titles. But Sony has hinted that they have not announced everything that they've got queued for announcements this year. That's why I was asking about quiet first-party studios, maybe a Kojima project. I don't know about Sony Ben. Trying to think, there could be some very interesting reveals this year, but they were like, I don't know, Game Awards is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they're good years for announcements, sometimes they're kind of blah.
I feel like they're something's got to get pushed. So so Ratchet and Clank got pushed into next year, and then they said
I don't know that they were ever targeting 2020 with that. Were they?
I don't think they were ever targeted. Like I think
they said launch window. All they said was launch window.
Oh yeah, launch window is like what, 3 months, 4 months,
3 to 6 months, something like that.
The interpretation was launch title, but they never actually committed.
No,
I
they just said
feel-
window.
What I was saying was like, so they're gonna have Ratchet and Clank next year. They Horizon Zero Dawn was said to be coming next year, right? 2020.
They didn't say that, but they did say it's cross-gen. That's why people are interpreting that.
Interpreting it to be 2021.
Yeah.
The only one that didn't God of War Ragnarok say 2021?
It said 2021, but
so
it
then
didn't.
maybe Horizon, the new Horizon is pushed or
maybe, but I doubt it. It's cross-gen. Horizon came out a year before God of War 2018 did.
Well, I mean, like the whole thing with like cross-gen is like.
But there's also rumors about another Killzone, so maybe Guerrilla's dividing their efforts. Who knows?
I could see possibly God of War being pushed to spring of the next year of 2022, just because it's like, okay, Ratchet and Clank.
Well, also
and then
FF16
Horizon.
is the platform exclusive, so there's a ton of big platform exclusives targeting next year.
Son of a B, I need a PS5 for the load times.
Right? Ahmed, last time I played games with Ahmed, he was like, I think I'm gonna try and get a PS5. I'm like, why? You're just gonna play Demon's Souls. He's like, yeah, but have you seen like the load times on all the PS4 games? And that was like I never fucking thought of that shit.
Yeah, no, dude. When they talked about the SSD, I was like, man, the load times are gonna be freaking insane. So yeah, like,
and then hearing people like Jason and Michaela talk about it, but like Giant Bomb saying, yeah, Monster Hunter World loads up in like 30 seconds. Like, what?
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So the one piece of news I want to talk about, and I'll make this quick. IO's making a 007 game.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Which is kind of dope, actually. I want to see what sort of bullshit. I mean, hopefully it can be as self-serious but somehow absurdist as the Hitman game, the Hitman franchise has proven to be over the years. And I will watch this space.
Well,
Also, The World Ends With You was the other game that got announced.
Neo.
Sequel.
Isn't it Neo? The world ends with you.
Yeah, Neo, The World
Yeah.
Ends With You. So it's getting an anime in like April, and then they're targeting summer 2021 with a new 2 game.
Wait, what the fuck are we talking about now?
Another
The
game
world that
announcement.
ends with you. The game that came out like
The
2
It
world
was a
that-
DS game like
yeah.
10 years ago.
It was a
Yeah.
DS game like forever ago, came out on
Right,
Switch,
they're
and everyone's
making-
like, "Oh, I
there's
can finally play this shit."
There's a
Yes, and now it's
sequel
getting a
called
sequel.
Neo. The world ends with you.
Got announced
Oh.
today.
Got
So-
announced today. Yeah.
Pick a different world square or word square. Just saying. It's a square title, right?
You know what would be? You know what would be nice? What would be
What?
awesome? Octopath Traveler 2.
I know.
I mean,
I
I'm just
love
saying.
Octopath Traveler. It is one of my
What?
favorite. It's one of my top 3 Switch games.
So here's the thing. Like, is it gonna be? Because if they announce it and it's not a Nintendo situation where it's announced on a Nintendo thing, it might not be exclusive, and that might be like, oh hey, you could also get Octopath Traveler on your PS5 or your Xbox, and
I don't
while you're
know.
waiting
It's
for
on
the
PC.
sequel.
See,
Like,
I
it was
don't
timed
I
exclusivity.
don't want you
Right.
to tease me with shit like that, Moose.
Right.
That's the hard part. Like, I don't want you.
I'm
Square's
just
been
saying.
doing really good lately, minus the Marvel's Avenger thing, but Japan, Eastern, traditional Square Enix has been killing it lately.
Well,
That's
I
true.
mean, you can't come out and say this game's going to be awesome and we're gonna continue to support it for years. Like, no, like the game has to be a hit and then you can support it for years. Like, you can't call something a hit before it even comes out. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but like when you have like what like the player base dropped on PC like it was like
By
a
90%.
yeah, it was a steep decline. Like that's
I mean, that's Anthem levels of decline.
shit. People are playing freaking Division 2 more than they are the Marvel's Avengers. So
And that game's 2 years old.
no, last year.
Well, no, that was last year, last March-ish.
Yeah, last March,
Almost
2019.
2 years at this
It's almost
point,
2 years.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
year and a half.
wow.
It's a year and a half.
2020
Yeah.
doesn't count, does it?
No,
Well,
Alright,
they
I think
dropped the
I
expansion
think
in March.
I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah, Jason and I
Yeah.
still got shit to do.
We've gone for 3 hours, gentlemen, and Michaela.
What do
It's
you
okay. You
Jason?
can call me a gentleman. Women can be anything.
This is true. This is true. You're right.
Men
I'm
can
just-
be anything too. So
Exactly.
No.
That's the point.
No, we
No.
can't. No, we can't.
No, I
No,
can't
we can't.
identify as a tree.
No, I'm saying men can't be mothers. So they can't be anything.
We can discuss this philosophically at a later date.
Women, you know.
Moose, take us out.
Bye.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXOD-merch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter at StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool at Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter at GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter at redxmod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be at infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.